Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! Here he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97 home. That is where comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian, Billy Friedrich. Shows one, they're all coming down the finish.
Coin! Fired! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the clock of Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. By the young phenom known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio Bizarre is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Let's check.
All right, welcome in here, Betting with the Bag. My friend Jimmy the Bag joining us very soon here. Sorry for the lack of camera right now. We'll be back here in a second. We've got a loaded show. NHL, NBA, college basketball. Look at it. Look at him right on top of my face. Hello, Jimmy.
What a professional outfit we are right here. What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, December 12th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to Jose for having my back there. It's been a rough 72, 96 hours, man. Woo-wee. Lacking sleep, but not lacking winners. Monster day yesterday, but I am a shaky mess. A shaky mess. Shout out to all the cappers in the house. We got the Goracle, Dubai, Monaco, Moneyline, EuroLeague, Parlay, Pig Milk, Play of the Day, East Tennessee State -4, and Saturday UFC, Teresa Bleda and Kevin Vallejos, Parlay. Let's get this all copied and pasted. We got Justin Mcelvy, Stacks Plays of the Day, 1 and 2 in the house, ready to rock. Let's get this all copied and pasted here so we can discuss throughout the day's affairs. Londo in the house. I read you. Oh, man, Londo, you're so much fun to cap with. I'm sorry it was only $230. We had bigger dreams than that. But, man, are you fun. Respect. Love capping with you, buddy. There's Big Scott. Nice work, Big Scott. You know, look, I've got a ways to go to climb out of this hole. We're up about 20 units in the last 2 weeks. We went up 8.84 units last night. I'm going to absolutely attack and hammer Saturday's card. I would like to make 2 bets on today's card, and we'll go over that here in a second. I just want to talk it out with you guys before I do, because they're not comfortable bets. Jose Perez in the house. We got AM Sports Picks with some NFL action. I would like to add to my NFL action. 0-2 yesterday, though, which did not was not good. But Troy Torrance and all the Falcons backers got their cash. I love to see that. We got Sweet Lou in the house. Rich and Dan City Play today's Ilya Mikheyev anytime goal plus 450. Mikheyev's always had the skills. The issue was that he just couldn't be counted upon. He was just getting hurt too often. San Francisco 49er moved on the Raiders plus the points as well here. I'm close to being on the Eagles. I haven't moved on them yet, but I'm close. But I can understand the other side. I can understand it. Dizzy Donut in the house here. We have Kong's Clips says, I think we need the excitement of horse races back into the show. We do, and we are racing today. It's a merch package that we're racing for, but we will be racing today. Great to see all of you guys, man. Truly is. Jay Peasy on the grind in the Betting with the Bag in the earbuds. Jay Peasy got us started with this dope intro to today's show here. I retweeted it, man. Our guy Jay Peasy in the house. Johnny Blaze, flank steak play of the day is in here. Pacers. So we got a great show. We're going to open up with these 2 NHL games. Then we're going to go into Army Navy on Saturday with Wine Time Sports. We're going to talk about the 8 college basketball games on the slate here. See if there's moves to make. I haven't put enough work in on those college basketball games. Every other game is fully capped. I've put some time into NBA. I can't wait. We have Justin McKelvey and Wine Time Sports here. And unfortunately, I'm behind on records. It's too bad because our guys, Justin McKelvey and Wine Time, are crushing it. But I have got 6 hours blocked for tomorrow so that next week we'll be right back in business. So, oh, man, feels good. AM, you have inspired me. You guys all have. Thank you, Kripke. The Habs breakdown was my favorite of the year. But you guys have stuck by me, and it means so much to me, man. Sitting here down 35 units like an ass clown, and no one made me feel that way. You guys stuck by me. I've got so much more winning to do. Let's get into the black. Let's get healthy into the black. And I truly, truly means the world that you guys have stuck by me. And, it's just been a massive 2 days and an important couple weeks. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I'm so fucking inspired here by this group and this crew, and my life has direction because of all of this, and I got to figure out the sleeping thing badly. I know what I gotta do. I just gotta go to the gym. I gotta go to the gym today and sweat, and I'm just so unhealthy right now. I'm just so tied into my action, and I'm just a shaky mess. I'm gonna make a ton of mistakes with players' names and teams just because I barely slept over the last 4 days. I've only had one day where I slept for about 4 hours, so I don't want to talk about that either. Let's get to work. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm pumped up about the show. We're seeing things clearly. Let's get this money and let's roll. We start with the National Hockey League here. National Hockey League, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Chicago Blackhawks, 13-11-6, 6-6-3 on the road at St. Louis Blues, 11-13-7, 5-7-4 at home. We're at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Jacqueline, it is wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. Let's get to work here and pull up the line history here. And you know what? For this first game, I kind of do have some interest in the cash flow because I do not want to bet the St. Louis Blues. From the very first show we had, I told you I did not believe in the St. Louis Blues hockey team. And I don't want to ever back them. And they've hurt me this year. When time, not from the beginning of the year, but over the last few weeks, times where I thought they were in a great situation, they have stepped up. Times that they've been in a great situation, they have lost, and times when I faded them, they have stepped up. And nobody wants to back the St. Louis Blues here. So this line's moving heavily towards the Chicago Blackhawks, and we'll talk it all out here. We'll talk it all out. So first off, Binnington started the game last night. He allowed 6 goals on 25 shots. He was pulled after the second period. The Blues are on the second half of back-to-back. So we expect Joel Hofer, who's been much, much better. Joel Hofer being much, much better. .890 save percentage, which is bad. But look at what Binnington's doing, .869 save percentage. Spencer Knight coming off that spectacular 3-0 win at home over the Rangers on Wednesday. But that snapped this very ugly 2-game losing streak. Remember, I did not have the balls to bet the Blackhawks, which I should have, but we did have the balls to bet the first period under and the full game under, and they both cashed. They had lost by a combined score of 13-1 in road losses to the Kings and Ducks in their previous 2 games. And that is a perfect, a corollary point to this game, because I should have been on the Blackhawks when they lost back-to-back games 13-1. Remember, the first game they lose 7-0. We faded them heavy because they had just beaten the Kings. They were outplayed by the Kings, and they beat them 3-2. So they played again in LA 2 nights later, and we hammered the Kings. Then they played again the following night. And I would never fade a team that had just lost 7-0. We faded them because when the week prior, the Blackhawks went down 3-0 to the Ducks. The Blackhawks scored 5 unanswered goals and won the game. The 5th unanswered goal was an empty netter by Bedard, and he beaked off at the Ducks bench. And look, if you got there's some dog in them, that's nothing wrong with that. You can beak off at the bench, but you have to deal with the consequences. Consequences are the Ducks are a better team. They're going to remember it, and they're going to let you know. And that's what happened. So then they lose 6-1 to the Ducks. So they lost 13-1 their previous 2 games. They should have been bet. There's so much parity in the National Hockey League that when a team gets embarrassed the way the Blackhawks did and the way the Blues did last night, losing 7-2 to the Predators, we were on the Predators. Stamkos went for 4 goals. A group of men step up. They show character. They have a great coach in Monty, and Monty could get fired over all of this. As we were supposed to bet the Blackhawks on Wednesday, we are supposed to bet the Blues here. And it's sickening. And Wager Detective brings up an important point. The 8-3 loss, the Blues have already suffered in this building at the hands of the Blackhawks here. At the hands of the Blackhawks. So we have AM saying kind of liking the under here. Rich and Van City saying Blues are playing their 5th game in 7 days. It's a terrible, terrible spot. Godfather in the house, great to see you. I understand that they're a tired group, but the fact is they're coming off a huge embarrassment. And look, if I had have trusted this situation, I would have already bet it. It was very difficult, very, very difficult for me to press the button on the St. Louis Blues. But let's go over this stretch that Rich in Van City is talking about. Let's go over the stretch here. And it's it hasn't been that bad. They've just been playing a ton of games in a short period of time. So it started bad. They lost their second straight game December 4th here, right? December 4th. Now it's the 12th. December 4th, Thursday, December 4th. So we're talking 8 days ago. They played Boston. Then 2 nights later on Saturday, they played Ottawa. So this is going to be their 5th game in 8 nights. They had a day off on the 5th. They had a day off on the 8th. And they had a day off on the 10th. So it's not 5 and 7. I guess if you count from the 6th, 7th, and they only had the day off on the 8th and the day off on the 10th, and then it would be 5 and 7. So you're right. It depends from where you track it. 6th, 7th, they only had the 8th off. Then they had the 10th off, and then they play on 12th. Look, it's a terrible spot. But they must be backed here. They must be backed. Shout out to Robert Cherry in the house. Says, what do you think about my first period looks for dogs like the Blackhawks? Look, I think that the Blues are probably best bet in the first period. Richard Van City said Spencer Knight post-game interview was awesome. Said that they had a bag skate of a lifetime after getting blown out twice. I expect their solid game to roll into this one. We got DC Capper's best bet. Let me copy and paste that. Look, I hear what you guys are saying. We talk about that the NHL is the most kind of honest of all the sports. That there's less ability for one player to impact the game unless you're talking about a goaltender, which we still haven't seen yet. I'm sure it's happened that the Mafia's got to a goaltender before, but here, how do you not trust this Blues team to step up? They lost 5-2 at home to the Bruins on Tuesday. They lose last night 7-2 to Nashville. They've lost 8-3 already to the Blackhawks. That was on October 15th. Yes, they're missing Kyrou and Bugstad. They're missing Snuggerud and Toropchenko on right wing and Nathan Walker on left wing. Kyrou is the issue. He hurts their power play a lot. Wager Texas says Blues 5-11 at home this year. Well, yes, but 4 of those are losses in overtime or a shootout. So we kind of consider it more 5-7-4. So I think that, and look, this line keeps moving towards the Blackhawks. So maybe I should just stay off. Maybe I should just stay off of this. Opening up -142, now at -118. Everybody wants to back the Blackhawks because the Blues are playing so bad. We'll be there in 15 minutes, Troy. We'll be there really soon. Less, maybe 10 minutes. Wine time already ready, Rock. Maybe it should just be Blues first period. Maybe it should just be Blues first period. Because of, what Rich is talking about, 5 games in 7 nights. But honestly, this is a team that has to be back, as sickening as it feels, as this market goes 30 cents away from us. Because do you trust this group of hockey players? Wow. Peanut says Yari traded to the Oilers for Skinner. Would like your thoughts. That's incredible that just happened. Incredible. I think that it's probably a win-win for both teams. I think Skinner needs a fresh start, and Yari probably does too. Do I think Yari can handle this? I don't think so. Kent Davis says means Penguins are toast. I think I would honestly rather have Skinner. I mean, he's been in the highest pressured situations. I know I question it, but it might be a win-win for both. AM says the blowout system recommends a bet at this price on the Blackhawks, but with the Blues meeting with the poorest defense system by criteria, but not price, easy pass for him. Okay, so the Blues have to be bet. And if I'm listening to you guys, Rich and Van City talking about the 5 games in 7 nights, and if I heed the advice, it would be just the Blues first period. And there's no point betting it now. All this money. Let's take a look at the money because this line's moving so fast towards the Blackhawks. It just has to be a spot where it's 85 or 90% of the cash on the Blackhawks. So let's find out right now. We have, oh God, 55% of the tickets, 93% of the cash. Maybe this is optional misery. Maybe this is just optional misery that I shouldn't move on, but I think the Blues first period has to be bet. God, maybe I'll have to look at. Well, it's no reason to bet it now as this line just keeps moving towards the Blackhawks. Let's talk about game 2 here on the board. And this is another bet that will make you sick, but I think you have to do it. Godfather says values on the Blues. I see 6 of the sharp books have the odds with the same line. He's taking the Blues money line. Look, Godfather, I like hearing that. And I would still wait, though. This line just keeps moving. I mean, right now, the Blackhawks have gone from plus 125 to plus 104. There's been no stop. That last move was 35 minutes ago. So, Rich and Van City got the Hawks last night at plus 125. Of course, you should be very comfortable with that. Johnny Blaze says it's Blues money line, man. Rich and Van City, you should be very comfortable with that. The only thing is, I would need the most enormous conviction to fade a team off being embarrassed. And I've only had it a couple times this year, and we had it because we could explain it with the Duck spot. We could explain it with Bedard beaking off at the bench. Thank you, Mark. A long way to go, but thank you, my friend. Wager Tech says Blues have scored first in 9 of their 16 home games. They've got to be shot out of a cannon. That's it. Okay, I'm going to take the Blues first period. With this travel schedule, it's hard to think that they'll have the fortitude to come back in a hockey game. And AM says Mammoth meets the porous defense system by criteria, but not price. Kraken meets no system. Easy pass for him. The price is the problem here. And one of the things that has served me well is that I've changed this whole thought process over the last few years. And you heard me say it, where I want things to be expensive. How on earth are the Mammoth minus 171? They opened up minus 175. There's not been much of a move. Not to score first. No. I mean, first period. Not to score first. No. You know what? There's jobs on the line in St. Louis. If they go down a goal, I still want them to dig in and tie this up, AM says because the Kraken are awful. They are. But they have a better record than the Utah Mammoth. So what does that make the Mammoth? The minus 171 favorite. If the dog is awful, what is this home minus 171 favorite? The worst team in the National Hockey League? Because we know that's not the case. Joey Decord versus Karel Vejmelka here. Decord 8-7-4, 2.93 goals against average, 8.92 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Vejmelka 12.92, 2.72 goals against average, 8.93 save percentage, 1 shutout. Seattle power play 5th in the NHL. Shout out to Will in the house. Great to see you. Seattle 15th ranked power play, 19.5%. And their penalty killing, the Kraken, is the worst in the National Hockey League. Well, Utah no longer has Logan Cooley, and they have a horrific penalty kill horrific power play, currently ranked 4th worst in the hockey league, 29th, 14.6. So the Utah's horrific power play can't take advantage of Seattle's horrific penalty killing, which is good, which is helpful. Let's take a look at this total here. And I know, and it's my fault for not going over the total in Blackhawks Blues. I don't think the Blues and Hofer, it is an under situation because the Blues are playing for their lives. And they just allowed 7 goals. And Spencer Knight running hot, and the Blackhawks know exactly how they have to play. The last time the Blackhawks and Blues met, there was 11 goals scored. Why wouldn't I should have probably talked about that. Maybe it is that under. The 13-5, Charlie Chips. I went 13-5 plus 8.84 units. It was very important, very helpful. It meant a lot to me. And Wager Tech concurrent. Can you, Jose, do you mind just going back to that Blackhawks Blues thing here at this here? The Blackhawks Blues spot has to be an under. But do we know if Hofer is being announced in net? Because they have to play defensive and responsible. And the Blackhawks, other than Bedard, are not this high-octane offense. They will be at some point over the next few years, and look out. But they're not right now. Thank you, Mr. Chips, my friend. I needed it very, very badly. I need confidence. Hofer unconfirmed. It has to be. I feel like this has to be an under. The Blues have, on the second half back-to-back, have to play clean. Have to. And Billy Friedrich says that the blue line was 5.5 last night when he bet the under. He's going to double up today. Doesn't it have to be an under 6? God, it's disgusting to say that. And sorry I missed it in the first breakdown. But the Blues first period and the under 6. Okay, so I'm going to have to, you know what, I'm going to trust. I'm not, but the first period under 1.5, the only problem with that is the Blues are going to be shot out of a cannon. So I've got to, I've been betting the first period unders and the full game unders in spots here. Well, Wager Detective Binnington started last night. They pulled him after 2 periods, allowed 6 goals, 25 shots, and Hofer came in, allowed a goal on 7 shots. So we think Hofer is going to be in there. AM says that under 1.5 first period of plus money did look tempting. It would have to be my double down spot. We do not. Binnington is listed, but nobody thinks it's going to be Binnington. He's got 869 save percentage. He was pulled after 2 periods. We all think it's going to be Hofer. But maybe we should wait for that to be confirmed. But even if it is Binnington, that wouldn't bother me. These guys got to step up. I mean, you're trusting these guys to step up. Okay, so I'm going to be on the Blues first period in the under 6. It might be better off being on the Blues first period and the first period under 1.5. I don't want to double down on the under. So the 6 is probably the most appealing spot there. Let's move on to Kraken Mammoth. Thank you. Sorry about that, Jose. We're in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. We've Joey DeCord versus Melka. We talked about the special teams already. Let's get into the line history for the spot here. We have this total at there's some books at a 5.5, some books at 6s. This opened up at 5.5 minus 115 to the over. That moved to a 6. You can either bet the minus 122 to the under or the minus 115 or you can either have a juiced under 6 or a juiced over 5.5, depending on how you want to bet it. On the money line here, as we were saying, Utah's ridiculously expensive. So expensive. It makes no sense that they could possibly be this expensive. And that makes me want to bet them. Now, I completely understand AM saying, at this price, he doesn't blame anybody who wants the Kraken. I get that. Wager Tech says he'd rather have Binnington in there after getting shelled. I don't think so. I think you can explain the psychology for both goaltenders to step up. Hofer has a chance to be the number 1 goaltender for the first time in his NHL career. So, but I think either is fine. So, Charlie Chips, thank you for having me on Surround Sound. I don't have I'm a shaky mess right now. My voice isn't very strong, but we have the great Wine Time Sports joining us in a second, who will handle all the things I'm not delivering. My man, 4th and 1 Entertainment in the house. Great to see you. So, Seattle comes in off snapping their 6-game losing streak with a 3-2 overtime victory at home over the Kings on Wednesday. A prediction perfectly delivered by our friend AM Sports Picks. Now, Jared McCann left Wednesday's game versus the Kings in obvious pain. He collided with Anton Forsberg. He's been injury prone all year. He's only played 11 games all year. The idea is that he's going to be hurt here. No Wine Time. And you know what? Let's get Wine Time up here for this breakdown. We are talking Kraken, Mammoth, and why keep him on the bench here? Wine Time, welcome to the show, my man. Can't wait to cap basketball with you and the Army-Navy game. Commander-in-Chief's trophy on the line. And you, Justin Mcelvy, and I for NBA. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. Happy Friday. Shout out to everyone in the chat in here. And yeah, I kind of wanted to get involved in this game. I don't know why. Utah minus 1.5 looks pretty appealing. I mean, they're expensive. It's probably for a reason. You guys know me. I don't know a lot about hockey, a lot about NHL. I've been dabbling with it, but been trying to read the market in certain spots. And this kind of jumped out to me in this small card today that Utah, maybe they take care of business by a couple goals here. Haven't bet on it or made it official or anything like that, but I did think it was an interesting spot. I'm curious to hear this breakdown, Jim.
Utah comes in off their 3rd straight loss. So the Mammoth have been playing without Jaden Schwartz all year, who's a character guy. Their number 1 center, Jared McCann, left the game, and he's only played 11 games this year. He'd already scored a power play goal. He changes the entire Kraken power play. He changes everything. So I don't expect McCann to be in there. Again, that is a guess. I don't have any. I've tried to get as much information as I could. There's nothing, no new information for me at this point. We need to know, did he travel with the team? I couldn't get that information. So Utah comes in off its third straight loss. They've lost the first 2 games of this 3-game homestand. And they're priced like they're one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. The Mammoth they're 14, 15, and 3. So in 32 games, they've only won in regulation 14 times. In 13 home games, so, they played more road than home, which means that their statistical profile is a little worse than it would be if they'd played more home games than road games. They played 13 home games. They've only won 7 in regulation. This price makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And that's why I believe it has to be bet. I do not look at this saying, look at the value on the Kraken. And you'll hear it from hockey cappers today. And I'm not saying they're wrong. Please hear me out. I can understand that there's different ways of capping sports. And here you are absolutely right. The Kraken should not be this big of a dog. They shouldn't be. So do you sit back and say, I'm getting extra value on the Kraken, they should not be this big of a dog? Or do you think the books know better than us? And it's again, this is up to how you want to handle things. And I'm not, we're not a bunch of yes men. We're not here to agree with each other and hold hands and sing kumbaya. We're here to make money. If you don't agree, that's fine. If there's value fading someone, that's fine. It's all fine. So they lose on Monday 4-2 to the Kings. Then they lose 4-3 to Florida on Wednesday in a game that was sort of right there for them to win. Logan Cooley out 6 to 8 weeks. Alexander Kerfoot and Oli Mata out as well. Oli Mata does hurt them being out. Look, this line doesn't make any sense. And the Mammoth -1 must be bet, and I will bet it. A Mammoth -1. Then Blues first period, and I think the under 6 here. The under 6. Kent Davies says Kraken are not public. Look, I don't care about the cash flow here. Utah public, 81% tickets, 82% cash. It's not that I think that the Seattle Kraken are going to be public or anything like that. But you are going to hear sharp cappers tell you that this price doesn't make sense, that Seattle shouldn't be this big of a dog, and they're right. And just because they're right, I don't think that means enough here. I think that there's no way the Mammoth should be this expensive, and I'm gonna roll into it here. Wine Time, what do you think of this Kraken Mammoth spot?
Yeah, I'd only be on Utah here in this spot. I was on the Kraken on Wednesday, and that was just magical. I mean, I thought I turned the game off. I thought they were going to lose, and I think it was like 55 seconds left. They got a goal, went in overtime. It was pretty magical. I didn't realize until the game was over that they actually won the game. I don't know if they're going to get that lucky here against Utah here. So I don't know. You guys know me. I can't give you guys a great breakdown about hockey. Just don't know about a lot of the X's and O's, but I can say that both of these teams being around the same record, both of them not really playing their best hockey. I mean, Seattle losing the last 4 out of 5, Utah losing the last 3 games, but yet Utah is nearly a -180 here. I think it's pretty telling. And yeah, it seems like it's pretty public, but I don't know. I don't really think that matters here. So I would only be on Utah. I'm not going to officially move on it, but this will be a fun game to watch for sure.
I am going to be on them here. And let me just have Agam's thought process behind it, which is I like hearing. He says, for the record, if the Mammoth were in his price range, he would be all over them. And then he says he has specific price targets, which I respect. But he says, I agree. This price is meant to push you away from the Mammoth. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Charlie Chip says -175 is the fade in any sport, and that's why we bet on the -1 line. You can join with us or not, again. So Mammoth -1 and the Blues first period. And then I expect to also add the under 6, but that's going to take some conviction here. And just before we put a bow on this NHL. Yesterday was great. It was so much fun capping with Babano, and I know so many people join us on Thursdays because we got that big NHL card. And it was a great day. So we Sharks plus 172 cashed, San Jose Toronto under 6.5 cashed, Anaheim money line lost, Philadelphia money line lost, Montreal money line cashed, Winnipeg -1 lost, Edmonton -1 cashed, Detroit Edmonton over 6.5 lost, Sabres cashed, Buffalo Vancouver under 6.5 cashed, Vancouver team total under 3 cashed, Pittsburgh team total under 3 cashed, Washington money line lost, Carolina Washington first period under 1.5 cashed, Carolina Washington under 6 cashed, Ottawa Columbus over 6 cashed, and Ottawa -117 crashed. Charlie Chip says the Kraken is to play. Good luck, Charlie Chips. Go get that cash. Nothing wrong with being on the other side of me. Other than the last 2 weeks, I've started to turn it around, but I've got more to prove. You are not what the last week or two make you. You are what the season tells you that you are. So let's move on to college football here with Wine Time Sports. And also, I'm going to hammer Saturday's NHL card. Hammer it. I'll put it in Discord, and I'll pop it in on X a little after that. Let's roll Wine Time. We have a big college football game on Saturday. The Commander-in-Chief's trophy up for grabs. It is America's game on Saturday. This is going to be fun. And it's a fun breakdown, too, this year. Very interesting one. Let's talk side and total and cash flow. Set it up and hear how Wine Time is going to attack this. I don't like Army sitting here at 6. It opened up at 5.5. It got up to 6, got up to 6.5, dropped to 6, back up to 6.5, down to 6. I need this to close at 5.5. We know how important that is in football. Something that touchdown Troy Torrance has pushed in our direction here, and so obviously I want Army. They played in so many close games this year, and I want them. But I do need to know that from the market that it makes sense. This total is a 38. It opened up at 38.5, dropped to 38, got up to 38.5, and back to 38. So it's dropped a half point. I think that's very telling because both teams have been able to put up a lot of points this year. And we know how many games, and I'll go over all the stats about how often these games have gone under because they've gone under nonstop. They got under to such an extent that we had a total at 28 a couple years ago. And everybody's been cashing these unders. We have 72% of tickets and 73% of the cash on Navy. Circa hanging at 6. Some other books are hanging at 6.5. The thing about Circa 6, though, is that they opened it up at 4.5. So this is still just moving towards Navy. So the market's giving me no confidence at all on Army. 58% of tickets on the under, 78% of cash on the under. The market is giving me some confidence on the under. Now we have AM on Army money line. We have KT on the over. So 42 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 4 mile per hour winds here in M&T Bank Stadium. Army went 4-4 in the American, while Navy went 7-1. Robert Cherry says, "Don't do it." Navy money line and full game on over. Yeah, I mean that would have been my first instincts too. I capped myself off of it, and maybe Robert Cherry, this would require no bet for me. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that when you first look at this game, you think that total's too low. These teams have been scoring a lot of points, and you think, wow, this Navy team is the best in midshipman history. They're gonna show out. And then I cap myself off of those two things. And that's what capping does. Sometimes you have a plan and you go against it by study. So here we go. For the first time since 2016-17, back-to-back winning seasons for Navy. If they get a win here over Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl, double-digit wins back-to-back years for the first time in Navy's history. We watched them destroy last year, 31-13. I'm sure that's fresh in everybody's minds. We all remember what Horvath did in that game. He ran 25 times for 204 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw 9 passes. He went 4 of 9 for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look, Horvath in this offense has been excellent. 7th in offensive success rate this season. I mean, it's clear this wing T variation is working. Drew Cronin knows exactly what he's doing, and he's got the perfect quarterback to utilize the plan in Horvath. Navy finished number 22 in the Associated Press top 25. Only 2 losses, North Texas and Notre Dame. And Horvath wasn't even in the Notre Dame game. When Horvath has been a starter since 2023, they're 19-4. So I understand it. You know, he ran for 1,040 yards and 14 touchdowns. He threw for 1,390 and 9 more touchdowns. He's the first quarterback in the history of Navy to throw for 1,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons. They lead the FBS in rushing with 298.4 yards per game. They're averaging 32.5 points per game. Don't you think if one team's averaging 32.5 points per game, and do I have the others average here in front of me? Maybe a one-time grab for me. Wouldn't you think that the total would be a little higher than 38? Isn't there something very fishy about that total? I think there is something extremely fishy about this total here. You have 6.06 yards per carry. That's the second best in the country for Navy. They have the American Defensive Player of the Year in Landon Robinson. 6.5 sacks, 8.5 tackles for a loss. I mean, do you know that no Navy player has ever earned American Defensive Player of the Year?
Wow.
Ever. So let's talk about Army. So look, I get why anybody would be on Navy. Look at all those stats. How do you read those stats and nothing? But then things start changing. Army opens the year 1-3. They close 5-2. They have their 2 losses, 7 points to Tulane and 1 to Tulsa. They played in 8 one-possession games. Their last 5 have all been decided by a score. You have Cale Helams, who is, look, he's not Horvath. He only threw for 504 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he did run for 1,078. And they have a first-team all-conference center in Brady Small. So, I mean, in the American, they're right behind Navy. In the country, they're 5th rushing, 256.9 yards per game. 2nd in the American in scoring defense. The underdog has won the game outright in 5 of the last 9 years. I'm sure that has AM interested in that. The money line, that's part of it. The underdog is 10-4 on the spread since 2011. And the under is 17-2 since 2006. But the 38 may not make sense at this point. And that's what interests me. Let's hear from Wine Time Sports. Take it away. Army, Navy, the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, America's game. Take it away.
Yeah, this is an exciting one. 1 or 2 games tomorrow. And yeah, you know, a couple years back, let's say made the money in this game was just taking the under. It seemed like that was such a good trend for such a long time. It still has been, not necessarily as of late, but yeah, we're seeing a low total here in this Service Academy game. No surprise about that. But yeah, it is really low, and it opened up around a 39.5, I guess, depending on where you looked. Circa had it at a 40 at one point. Now it's down to a 38. Looking at the market right now, pulling that up, 58% of bets and 78% of money on the under, and it's moved towards the under. Listen, guys, these are going to be 2 teams that aren't going to really get any flags. This is going to be 2 very disciplined football teams that are going to go out there, want to go at each other. These 2 schools don't like each other, obviously. It's a big game for both these schools, bragging rights wise, all that stuff. This is a tough game. I'm going to move on in a couple different ways, though, and I haven't made any of them official yet on Twitter, so I'm going to do it right here with you, Jim, live. We are going to be on Army Navy under 19 minus 105 first half, and we're also going to be on Army team total under 8 minus 120 first half. Find it hard to believe that Army's going to really probably get in the end zone too much in this game or even kick any field goals. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 7-0, 14-0 first half type of game in favor of Navy. I think Navy's going to win this game. I couldn't lay the 6.5 points with them. I think it might be a little bit closer than that, but I don't think either of these 2 teams are going to be able to get in the end zone too much. I think we're going to see a really good defensive battle. Both teams that are going to run the ball. Yeah, we know Navy likes to throw it lately, but I think this is going to be a classic throwback, shove it down your throat, and I think Navy might even get up a little bit early. If Navy gets up 2 scores in this game, they're going to want to burn this clock and just want to get out of there with a win. They're going to just try to put up a crazy crooked number on you. I think they're just going to want to get out of there with the win. So I expect Navy to win this game. I'm not going to move on Army. If I was ATS-wise, it's a tough spot here because same time, I feel like I don't even know 6.5. I feel like this should be like a 7.5. It is a neutral site, but Navy, they're only 2 losses to 2 really good teams this season in North Texas and Notre Dame. Army, you mentioned it, kind of struggled in the beginning of the season. They've kind of turned their season around, but you can kind of throw records out the window in this kind of game because both these teams, doesn't matter where their records are, they're going to give it their all. They're going to try their hardest out there. Some of these guys last time ever playing football, they're going to go serve the country after this game pretty much if you're a senior at one of these schools. So I think both these teams are going to go out there and it's going to be a low-scoring game. So why I'm not on the full game, I kind of fear if this game goes into overtime, if it's that close in the fourth quarter and this somehow gets to overtime and it goes over. So that's why I'm not on the full game over. I think Navy's going to have a good defensive game plan in that first half to shut Army down. I mean, you really just got to stop the run on this Army team. And yeah, they're probably going to run it nearly over 70% of the time. You're just going to have to load that box. And I think Navy can do that. Navy's they've got a pretty good defensive front up there. They've got some dudes up there. Not the biggest dudes, obviously. They got a couple dudes. So yeah, I'm attacking Army team total under 8 first half. And then the first half under 19.
So let me just make sure I got it here. Under 8, first half team total under 8. What was the juice on that?
-120.
-120. And the first half under 19. And what was the juice on that?
-105.
Yeah, I'm along the same lines here. Kong says historically these are dogfights and says you have to factor in the series history with this total. I do, absolutely. But anybody you would talk to about these two teams, the first thing out of their mouth would be what? Navy plays different. First thing they'd tell you is it's not the same Navy team, they're throwing more. That would be the very first thing that someone would say. Wouldn't you think at first, hey, the total for Army Navy is 38? It's not the first thing you would hear from everybody. I believe it is. And I think this will be a dogfight. I want to be on unders like old times here, especially after the 44 last year. Everybody catching the over last year. Troy Torrance says, don't we want the dog here? Troy, if this was a 5.5, I would have already bet it. The fact that Circa opened this up at 4.5 to 6, I would like to ask you then. With you, with a 4.5 to a 6 at Circa, a 5.5 offshore to 6.5 down to 6. Don't we feel like this needs to be a 5.5? But yes, I want the dog. Yes, I want Army. Yes, I think it's a 1-possession game. So that is the plan here, And Kong says placing the line at 38 kind of makes sense with the series history. I think the total comes out at a number to get over bettors in. And AM's going to take the points. I think it makes sense to take the points. We have Gabriel MJ Cardenas in the house, is currently serving in the United States Army. I'm a recruiter up in New York, and I'm still taking Navy. Look at our guy Gabriel. I love that, man.
That's
Respect.
awesome.
Thank you for your service. We have Gabriel for Army. We have our guy Eli Zertucci, who is currently in the Navy, whom we love dearly. Thank you guys for your service. It means a ton to us, and I love that comment. I'm copying and pasting it right here. That is that's a great one, Gabe. Thank you, man. I love that.
I honestly, I feel like, Jim, in this one, you could probably take the team total under on both teams and the unders first half and full game and feel like come out on top. This just seems like a spot where I don't think either team's going to really put too many points on the board. See, I kind of do lean towards the dog. I do think Navy wins this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Army goes out there and wins it. It really depends on just who wants it more with both these teams. It's going to be a fun one for sure. I might end up adding a couple more here before tomorrow.
And we have Eli's father, Guillermo, in the chat. Eli says bet Navy. So not a lot of cappers on Army here, but AM's on Army. Plus 6.5 minus 110. Thank you to Elijah Zertucci, to Gabriel Cardenas. Thank you both for your service. Means a ton. It's great to have Gabe in the chat. I'll remember the name. Respect, man. Well, that was fun cap. That was a fun cap. Let's get in. So we have wine time officially on Navy first half under 19. Army Navy first half under 19 minus 105. Army first half team total under 8 minus 120. I want at this point, and I'm going to let this market marinate on the side, but I'm going to move on the first half under and the full game under. I'm going to bet them today after the show. I think we've talked enough about it. And Troy, can you let us know, please, in the chat, what you? Oh, here it goes. Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Okay, they said line moving towards the favorite, but points are worth so much less in college football, and all the cash is on the favorite. We had that a little. I've already moved it over to college basketball here, but let's just go back to what Odds Logic was telling us one last time.
Oh, I can pull it up here. 72% of tickets, 73% of cash on Navy. Right now, circa, what's their ticket count on them? 74 and 78. Let's see another book right here. SP. That's 76% of bets and 52% of cash. So,
yeah, I mean, it's hard not to heed Gabriel and Elijah's advice on this one.
Right.
But I am interested. I'm very interested in Army just because of their penchant for one-score games. They're comfortable in these one-score games. You like the dog with low total. There's so many kind of boxes that it ticks here for me. They're playing their best football of the year right now. The public's on the other side. I think it fits. Here.
AM said circa has 90% of tickets and money on Navy money line.
And Kent Davies got the under 39.5. That's a beauty. All right, let's roll on. We get into college basketball here, and this is a tricky college basketball card, and I put my emphasis capping-wise on the NBA here for hoops. So it might be a little slow off the hop here, breaking these games down, but we got all of them ready to go. And we're going to hammer them here. Shout out to our guy Morgan Spooner, went 3-0 on the show. All
Nice.
3 spots that line moved against them. All 3 spots cashed comfortably. It's an exciting time here. Our guests are running hotter than they ever have run. Let's roll. Army Black Knights, UMBC Retrievers. Line history wise here, we have UMBC minus 7.5 at minus 110. They opened up at minus 6. So within 21 minutes, this moved to a 7. Full point move and juiced towards UMBC. And then it took about 4.5 hours to move to 7.5. Then it came all the way back to a 5.5, down to a 4.5. It wasn't a real one. Let's just call it 5.5. Came back to a 5.5, right around midnight. Then it started moving again in UMBC's direction. But it is interesting U-shaped movement on the side that is important to just recognize that this wasn't a clean move towards UMBC. From a total standpoint here, this one opened up at 147.5. It immediately dropped down to 146 and has climbed back up. But this did drop like a rock around 8 this morning when it went all the way down to 144. So we have the same sort of U-shaped movement on the total. From a cash flow standpoint here, let's get this up. We're going to get no information on a bunch of these games. The only games we'll have information on: Missouri, Xavier, Texas, Connecticut, and Cal Baptist, Eastern Washington. Now I could pull up the Action Network. Maybe I will, but
I've got it right here too, Jim.
What's it say on the Action Network? Anything?
Action Network, we've got currently 58% of tickets and 62% of cash on UMBC. And if we're looking at a money line, 92% of tickets on UMBC and 84% of the cash.
Interesting. Okay. We have Army. They won 3 of their last 4, but that last win was against the Div 3 colleges and nothing. But they have had some okay wins, and they have traveled. They went to Fairleigh Dickinson. They went to FDU, beat them 81-73, and that was a real road environment because I was part of their basketball tournament. Now there's only 500 people at that stadium. Shout out to Prince of the City, the Fairleigh Dickinson graduate whom we miss. But it was somewhat of at least you're on a road floor and fans are cheering against you. They have had other road games. They played the Tommies to start out the year. They lost by 7 there. Then they had some, then they played Duke, lost 114-59. They came back. They played on the road. They played Cornell, lost by 13. They played Marist, lost by 11. And then they beat Fairleigh Dickinson. That's their only road victory. But they have traveled. We're not dealing with a team that has yet to travel. They are coming off a cushy win against the junior college, which I don't like. Here for UMBC, they're coming off a loss. They've lost 2 of their last 3. They lost to Buffalo 83-79, and they're probably in a prime spot. They probably are in a prime spot to beat up Army.
Yep.
You know, it feels that way. They're coming off of a loss. The Buffalo Bulls are undefeated at this point. On the road, the UMBC was supposed to win that game. They were favored in that game. You know, they were up 4 at the break. They have no excuse for letting it go, but the Buffaloes are a much better team than Army. So maybe this is just a simple UMBC spot here. Be well, Charlie Chips. Thank you for joining us. Davfen says only one play for him. Cal Baptist. I will copy and paste that. But let's hear from Wine Time Sports. Wine Time, our first spot on the board, Army UMBC. We're in Baltimore, Maryland, Charm City. Shout out to our guy, Von Polo. Take it away.
I want to be on UMBC here. I think there's a reason why we're seeing this line move towards them right here in this spot. It seems like them being at home here, I think they're going to take care of business against a bad Army team. I don't know a lot about either of these programs, but just looking at it from the market standpoint right now, and just like the last 5 games, it seems like UMBC could probably blow these guys out. I don't think Army's a very good basketball team. The fact that the Lions moved this much, I mean, guys, who's out here betting this game right now? I mean, got to be some people that are putting some good money on UMBC here, and they're moving the line for a reason. I know there's a sharp book right here that opened this up at 6, I believe. Just want to double check that. Yeah, they opened this up at 6.5 actually, and it's up to a 7.5 pretty much everywhere right now. We don't have a ticket count on Odds Logic. We've got one on Action, and it doesn't seem like, 58% of that's 62% of money. So I don't know how much we can believe Action. Still, sometimes, I don't know. It's worth noting, though. I think that MD Baltimore County is going to take care of business here. So I might end up being on this spot. I think the line's very telling. I think it's 7.5 for a reason. I'm a little surprised that they're this much of a favorite. I'm probably going to be on them here, -7, -7.5. I'm currently getting right now at mine a 7.5 at -105. It's not bad. First half -4. I think I saw Ken Davies. Shout out to my guy Ken Davies in the chat. I think he said he got a 2.5 on this at one point. I can't get a 2.5 anywhere right now. I can only get a 4 and reduced juice at -105. So not super expensive. I don't know if I should move on them first half or full game here, but I think it's kind of like a smash and grab. I think you could probably move on first half and full game here. Curious, can you bet double results on these extra games here? Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, I was going to look. That was exactly what I was doing.
Dude, I'm seeing if I can. I'm sure I'm going to have to look around. So
I bet you will be able to hear.
Yeah, look around, and I'll look in a second. But that's where I would probably go, because I do think it's a smash and grab. I think I'm going to be on the first half -4 at -105, though.
I can't.
Yeah, I've been fun. But
oh yes, I can. Yeah, -170 though.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah,
That's
it's expensive
another
for a reason. I won't be on that, but I think I'm gonna be on the -4 at -105. I'm gonna write it down and look it over here in a couple hours. I know this game actually starts. It's an early start. It's at 3 p.m. for me over on the West Coast, so 4 hours away. I'm going to sit with it here these next couple games before we get into NBA. I think I'm going to end up moving on this spot here.
Yes, I also find it appealing here. I like the Army playing a cupcake Div 3 school, destroying them, feeling better about themselves. UMBC coming off a loss to Buffalo, the better team compared to, not better team over UMBC, but a better team compared to Army. I think that all kind of fits. But again, the -170 is too expensive, so we'll have to see what happens with this line. All right, let's roll up to our second spot on the board here. We have South Carolina State Bulldogs 0-10, 0-9 on the road. Now, Maine was in this situation here on Wednesday, and I wanted them, and I was afraid. And I don't want me missing out on that money to cost me money here. but I wanted them. I thought they were in the spot. It's all about, will a team overlook their opponent? And Queens coming off a dominant win over Gardner Webb. They're undefeated at home, and here comes one of the worst teams in the nation. This team just lost by 40. They're all, maybe this is nuts even thinking about backing them, and we'll see what's going on with the market and things like that, but they just lost by 40 to Charleston Southern. I mean, this is as bad of a basketball team as one could imagine, but so were Maine. So let's take a look at this spot here. Attaboy, DC Capper. I love to see it. Let's get this line history up here for our second spot on the board. We have a total of 158. It opened up at 159, dropped all the way down to 156, and then back up to 158. And then on the point spread here, we have Queens minus 16 at minus 115. They opened up at minus 15.5. It took an hour and a half to get to 17. That's the high water mark. This got down to 14.5 this morning. I mean, who is betting South Carolina State Bulldogs? Who is moving the line 2.5, 3 points towards South Carolina State Bulldogs? I think that is a sharp side. And I thought Maine was, and I was scared to do that. Let's take a look. How about the one-time view? I'll get action up now. I still don't have it up, but Res Mob on Queens, first half. Take it away one time. Bulldogs, Royals, Curry Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina State coming into this game 0-10, and if you look at their offensive numbers, some of the worst in the nation. Going against Queens here. Looking at the market here, we don't have anything on Odds Logic, but we got something on the Action Network. It's 38% of tickets and 33% of cash on South Carolina State. I'm seeing 16s pretty much everywhere right now here in the spot. Seeing some 15.5s, but mostly everywhere has moved this to a 16 now. This is a difficult spot. I mean, Queen, I'm surprised that they're this much of a favorite. It's because they're against a cupcake. I mean, the last time they were this much of a favorite, I think it was their last game. They were minus 15, and they beat them by 30 points. So, and easily covered against Weber. This spot, I'm not going to move on this by any means. I just don't have enough information here. But looking at it, let's look at the
They also shot 61 from the field and 52 from three.
Wow.
They put up 107 points.
Yeah, that's
how
insane.
good. They must be feeling so good about their basketball right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then come these clowns.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it makes sense. South Carolina State looks like the sharp-sided. Let's look at the total right here and see what they're giving us here on the total, because we saw this open up depending on where you're looking. I'm seeing right now we're seeing 158, 158.5. I'm seeing that this opened up at a 156.5 at some spots early this morning. On Action Network right now, we're seeing 18% of bets and 19% of cash on the over. That's very interesting that this total has moved 1.5. And at least according to Action, it's saying that everyone's coming in and hammering this under, probably thinking that South Carolina State's not going to be able to score. This probably goes over. I mean, this has moved 1.5 in this game. Who's even betting this game? You know what I mean? Like, not a lot of people, sharp people, are betting this game in this case. And the fact that they're moving it 1.5, again, probably tells you something here with not a lot of action, I'm sure, coming in on this game. So I would lean South Carolina State, and I would lean towards the over. I think more so the over. And I want to see right now the first half, what we can get on this total. First half on this total, 75.5 minus 110. I mean, that's high. And South Carolina State hasn't really been able to score. So something tells me maybe they're going to probably see that ball go in the bucket a little bit more here, and they're both going to be able to get off here. So this over 75.5 first half is appealing to me. And South Carolina State plus 9 minus 105 here in the first half. Not bad at all either. I think I'm going to stay away from the South Carolina State side, but I do think that would be the sharp side here in the spot. Who knows? Maybe I do get to this. It does seem like it is a South Carolina State spot. I think both teams are going to be able to score. So I think that this probably goes over in the first half as well. I'm not going to move anything quite yet, and I might not. But yeah, this is an interesting game.
Yeah, God, it makes me sick to say it out loud, but I want South Carolina State, and I want them first half.
First half, yeah. I think that's where you have to go in this one. I think that's, if I was going to move on South Carolina State, I think it would be the first half plus the 9.
Now, I'm not at this point because, I'm not saying I'm for sure going to bet it.
Yeah.
I want to sit with it again because by the time the show's over, it'll be like, an hour and a half or so from now. They'll give the market more time to marinate.
Yep.
You have to think that money's going to come in here. Mark Sosowski says they have UMBC. Oh, double result there. Oh, a halftime, full time. Yeah, that's the same. Halftime, full time is the same as double result at some books, right? That doesn't mean they have to win halftime and win full time.
I'm not sure. That sounds like, does that exclude overtime?
Yeah, has to be in regular. Oh, you're right. You know what? I've got to look into that. If I had slept a little bit over the last 4 days, I would have that answer, but I'll get it for us here.
Oh, Kelly McKinnon shown charged with felony home invasion and stalking. That's crazy.
Yes, Mel. I was so glad that cashed. That meant a ton to us. Yeah, it's very sad what's happened there. It's just sad. Yeah. Lives have changed forever. It's just, that's the thing about life is that you have to be accountable for all your actions at all times.
Yep.
And if you aren't, then you have to deal with consequences. And if you can't deal with those consequences, you lose your shit and go to jail. All right, let's roll on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Missouri State Bears 4-4, 0-2 on the road at Xavier Musketeers 7-3, 6-1 at home. We are in Cincinnati here. We have another very big spread. This is Deacon Mike's Missouri State Bears here, coming off a 98-74 loss at Tulsa. They have traveled so far this year, and it's not gone well. They've had 2 road games. UT Arlington, they lose 67-49, and then they lose 98-74 at Tulsa. So this is not a good basketball team. Speaking of the UTA and UT RGV game, that the line kept moving to Rio Grande Valley, and Spooner gave us UT Arlington, and it made sense to me. We should have used the Missouri State comparison to that because Missouri State loses at UT Arlington by 18 points, and then they beat UT Rio Grande Valley easily. But here they're coming off a loss at Tulsa. They've been off since last Saturday. Let's talk about Xavier. Do we expect them to not overlook Missouri State? That's always right. That's always the question. This is a team that's won 4 straight. They just had a hugely important game playing Cincinnati. All eyes on this spot. Cincinnati's a good basketball team. They played perfect basketball. They only turned the ball over 4 times, and they win 79-74. And now these schmucks come into the arena. How do you not, in this situation, have interest in Missouri State? Yes, the line's moving against them. This opened up minus 16. It took 10 minutes to 16.5, 5 hours, 17.5. It took 8 hours to get to 19, a 3-point move. But that at this point is the high water mark. Ooh. I mean, how after playing Cincinnati, look, we talked about this in Iowa State. How is Iowa State supposed to have the greatest single performance on the road against the number 1 seed in college basketball history and then be ready to go again in a rivalry spot? Like, it just Xavier just had a monstrous game against Cincinnati, and now Missouri State comes in. I don't see how. Now, according to Action, 80% of the tickets, 78% cash on Missouri State. Look, if that's anywhere close to the case, then you can't bet Missouri State. And if that's telling us that if we think Action's more of a public site, and that's telling us what the public's doing, we can't have anything to do with it. At odds logic, they say 58% of tickets, 69% of cash is on Xavier. This also opened up at 14.5 at some spots.
Yeah. This
is a fascinating one here. And there's Deacon. There is Deacon. Says he's followed Missouri State for 20 years. This year they suck. Says Missouri State's top rebound guy and decent inside scorer might be out for the second straight game. Oh, that's a big one. Might be out for the second straight game. Okay, well, that's important. Now we have AM on the over 145.5 here. Joseph Tucker in the house getting paid yesterday. Love to see it. DC Capper is on that South Carolina State over. And we have Justin Mcelvy on the over in this one as well, over 148.5. Take it away for us here. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house as well. Wine time, take it away, Missouri State, Xavier Musketeers.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Dutch Boy Fresh in the building. Shout out to you, my guy. Keep killing it. Shout out to Gorky in there giving a $2 dono, dropping a Euro League play. Savizda -1.5 plus 100. Go get that cash, Gorky. Yeah, this is an interesting spot here. I mean, I think the best player on the court here is obviously going to be Trey Carroll, coming off a crazy 30-point performance against Cincinnati and a big win there. It was a close game. It was wire to wire. This does seem like a spot right here where Xavier might overlook Missouri State, and Missouri State might be able to hang tight with these guys here. Don't know a lot about this Missouri State team or this Xavier. I mean, I know Trey Carroll. I know he's a baller out there. He's been playing some really good basketball, but them coming off such a good performance there, seeing this line open up at some sharper books at, let's see, what did some books open this up at? Where are we at here? Okay, so we've seen some, I know 14.5s, but mostly 17.5s, and this really hasn't moved. More of the tickets and money is coming in on Xavier, the Xavier Musketeers here in this spot. The line's not really moving too much, I guess, depending on where, because, yeah, you mentioned they opened up at 14.5s at some spots. That's wild. I'm going to end up staying away from this game. I do think Missouri State, maybe here in the first half, kind of similar to the spot in the last game, maybe they go out there in the first half and give it all they have. Looking at, I got to refresh this, but first half in this game, what are we seeing here? First half in this, let me pull this up. Sorry, it signed me out. I got it right here, though. First half in Xavier, Missouri State, 10.5 for Missouri State. I think more so I'd be on them in the first half rather than full game, but I'm going to pass.
Okay, well, I'm going to look into Deacon's note about the top rebounder here. I think that is probably important. I mean, you'll have a better chance at maybe handling it, once you failed the first time. But I'm going to copy and paste this. So he missed last game. It's not easy to get this info. Not hot off the press, Missouri State Bears injury report. But I'm interested. I'm interested in Missouri State first half. Both of these spots are sickening. The longer the market gets to marinate, I think is the best. I've had a lot of spots this year, and so as you guys know, a lot of you guys know that anything between like 12 and 18, let's call it 12 and 18.5, I bet the first half. I don't bet the full game. I've had a lot of first halves cash so far this year, and then that team get annihilated.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot this year. I know, Jim. I've seen that. That's crazy.
So I have some interest here, but thank you for the heads up from Deacon Mike. We got Xavier Oliver in the house. Oh, thank you. Thank you. DC Capper making moves here in the Austin P game. I will, sorry, this wrong one. Here, put this under Deacon's action. I love capping with our friend Deacon Mike, man. Always put a smile on my face. Let's roll on. Maryland, Eastern Shore, North Carolina, A&T, the game everybody wants to talk about. Right here on Pub Sports Radio. Let's set this bad boy up here. We have Maryland, Eastern Shore +7. They opened up at +7, and they got up to +9 at 11 p.m. Then they dropped all the way down to +6 2 hours after that. This has been bouncing all over the place. We've come back full circle, back to +7 and -110. Let's go to the total for this one. From a total standpoint, we have a 129.5. This is by far the lowest total on the board. It's the lowest total on the board by 13 points. Wow. Opened up at 132, and it's just dropped. But there was a low water mark of 128.5 at 9:22 a.m., so it's come up a point since then. According to Action Network, 33% of tickets, 36% of the cash is on Maryland Eastern Shore. And on the total, according to them, we have 72% of tickets, 70% cash on the over, and yet this one is dropping and dropping and dropping. Now, there have been times in my past where this would have been an under that would appeal to me very much. I'm trying not to bet totals. I have a 10%, plus 10% ROI in college basketball right now. That is rare for me, very, very rare for me, and I'm going to stick to the plan here. But I completely understand why this would, market-wise, look like a very strong under at this point. Let's set up the rest spot for both of these squads. Maryland Eastern Shore just played on Tuesday. They lost at Virginia 84-60. They've had a tough road trip. I mean, they've gone back home between games, but they played ECU 10 days ago. They lose on the road by 12. Then they head to American University. They lose by 18. And that was Saturday. And then on Tuesday, they lose at Virginia 84-60. So playing a very high level of competition. That's not the case for NCAAB, but they are coming off a loss, 73-69 at home versus Howard. So, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. And that was their first. They've been battle tested. They've only played 2 home games all year. They played South Carolina State back on November 10th, beat them 85-62. And then they played, and Howard wasn't even a home game. That was a neutral site spot. Their only 2 home games were November 10th and November 13th. So it's quite possible that North Carolina A&T is better than their statistical profile. But Maryland Eastern Shore, I don't really like fading teams who come off playing a much better, much more quality opponent in Virginia. So maybe this one doesn't quite work for me at this point. So let's hear from Wine Time Sports. Next spot on the board for us, Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina A&T, in Greensboro, North Carolina. I think you're muted, my man.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my guy Sweaty Butcher in the chat. Good to see you, my guy. Always good to see you in the chat. Hope everything's well with you and the fam. Shout out to my guy JPZ. Had a nice little video for the show today. Posted that on Twitter. Go check that out. My guy JPZ. Can't wait to kick it with him here in San Antonio. A couple months. As far as this game goes, guys, lowest total on the board. This first half's a 60.5 at -110 right now. Don't know a lot about these squads, guys. I haven't watched either of these 2 teams play, but if I'm looking at the total right here and seeing that this total is as low as it is, it would probably put me on the under, and it would probably be more so in the first half. Interesting enough, North Carolina AT&T hasn't had this low of a total pretty much in any of their games, going back to a couple weeks ago at least. And looking at Maryland East Shore, their totals have been fairly low, probably not as low as 129.5, but I think that's telling. Just looking at those numbers, not looking at it from an X and O standpoint, I think the first half under makes sense. It's very low. 60.5 is extremely low. I think it's 6 points lower than the next lowest total on the board for a first half. So that's where I think I'm going in this one. I might end up getting here, guys. It's not going to be a full unit by any means. Probably be a half unit on this play. But I might get to the window here on the under 60.5 first half.
That would appeal to me, but I got to keep it very, very clean or everything falls apart. Just so you guys know, the little back notes, but when I got to Pubapalooza 4, it was the lowest point in my capping career, maybe the second lowest point or third lowest point. I have so many, but I was in shambles, and it was college basketball. College basketball I had a strong season, and then something happened, and it was just maybe not a strong season, but a decent season, and then I just got annihilated over a 6-week thing. And then I got to Pubapalooza, got to with everybody, we started capping nonstop, gambling nonstop, and then I went on the best 11-week run of my life and kept my whole life together. And so I need to say that out loud because it happened, and I have a 10% plus 10% ROI right now in college basketball, and I know it can all fall apart. I've been through it, and I can't let that happen this year. Let's move on to a big one here. A big one. Just my 2 cents in the house. Great to see you, TC. We move on to the big game on the board this evening. Texas Longhorns, 7-3, 1-0 on the road to the UConn Huskies, 9-1, 5-1 at home. We're in Hartford, Connecticut here. You're the man, Kong. A bunch of you guys stuck with me through that time, and Wine Time and Troy were huge. It couldn't be more important to that turnaround for me that kept my whole life together. Let's talk Longhorns Huskies here. This is the big game of the day. We have Texas coming off winning 3 of their last 4. They lost at home to Virginia. Interestingly enough, they lost to the same score as Maryland Eastern Shore to Virginia. I mean, that's what we're talking about, how it's all situational. I mean, everyone knows what would happen when Maryland Eastern Shore would play Texas. Texas would destroy them, but they both lost. It's almost the identical score to Virginia. And Texas lost at home. At least Maryland Eastern Shore went to Virginia. So we have not seen this team travel. They played one road game, and it's not a real one. The Chaminade Silver Swords. I'm looking at the picture of the game. There's about 85 people there. So they've not proven that they could travel yet. Texas has not done that. And now they play a very, very tough opponent in UConn. UConn coming off beating Florida 77-73 on their home floor. They have the one loss at home, but we've seen them take out some big teams. They took out Illinois at home by 13, and they just took out Florida at home. Now they played on Tuesday. Texas played on Monday, but this is a very difficult spot for Texas in their first true road game. This totals a 146. It opened up at 149, and it dropped all the way down to 145.5 yesterday afternoon. It got bet up, and then it dropped again down to 145.5. It got down to a low mark of 145 at 11:19 p.m. We're sitting at 146 now. So it's a pretty legit move towards the under. When we get to the cash flow, we can look at the big board here. 52% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on Texas. 52 and 80 on Texas. 58% of tickets on the under and 64% of cash on the under. Let's take a look at this side. 14 points is a lot of points.
Yeah.
Let's see how it's moved. We have this. This is a wild move. Look at this. God, this is wild. So this opens up 1:45 p.m. yesterday, minus 13.5. By 11 at night, it's 16. By 6 this morning, it's 17. Oh. Now we're back down to 13.5. The opening line. That makes me uncomfortable. Beautiful, Sweaty Butcher. Respect, man. I look forward to it. We also have our plays of the day coming through here. We have a play of the day on each of the next 3 games from Cappers in our chat. So let's talk this one. Stacks play of the day in business here. Oh. The over 145.5 at minus 112. Stacks caught it at its low point, which was well done. So the expectations now that it will climb. Justin Mcelvy, Stacks play today over 145.5 here at Texas UConn.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
I think I know what I want to do. I think that I want to test Texas not traveling, playing one road game against some Div 3 college in front of 85 people. I want to fade them in the first half of this basketball game. I mean, I would like to hear your breakdown. The U-shaped movement makes me very uncomfortable. And I'm not sure where it's going to end here, even though we're back from where we started. Take it away, wine time, big one here, UConn, Texas.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jim. Looking at odds logic right now, it says 52% tickets and 80% of cash. All the public books that I'm looking at the ticket handle from is kind of telling you the similar thing. It's saying that there's a lot more money on Texas. We're going to look at the sharper books too, in particular. I don't know if am I not supposed to say them out loud, Jim?
Yeah, we're not supposed to. Yeah.
Okay. So the two that, are pretty sharp. And then there's one other book that says that a lot of the money is actually on UConn at the sharper books, which is very interesting. More the public books, it's seeming like
the legal money. American books. We can say all of them, all their names, just the offshores we can't.
Got it. Yeah, it's interesting here. I don't know what to believe at this point, but the sharper books are saying that more money's coming in on UConn. Public books are saying that more money's coming in on Texas. The consensus, I guess, is that more money's on Texas here in this spot. I'm not going to move on this. I kind of wanted to be on UConn because I thought it was kind of a large number for a reason. We know UConn's one of the best teams out there, but Texas still pretty good program they have over there. And I kind of thought this was a big number for a reason. I kind of thought it was maybe a smash and grab, but I'm not going to do it. It didn't correlate enough for me, kind of looking at these markets and seeing a lot of mixed things on where the money is and where this line is. We're seeing 14.5s right now. Some spots, this was up to a 16.5. Now it's even down to 13.5 at some spots. Wait, is that 13.5 at Circa? That's crazy. Did that just move? No. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Something tells me maybe Texas could actually hang tight here, but I'm going to stay away from it. Want nothing to do with it, even though this is probably the more exciting game on the board. I wanted to be on something in this game, but I just couldn't really find anything. So I'm going to stay off this as of right now, Jim.
There's no proof of concept with Texas.
Yeah.
There's no proof of concept. We haven't seen them on the road. So at this point, there's been the first half opened up UConn -10, and now it's down to 8. But the first half line, comes out much later, right? It didn't come out till 7:18 this morning. So, but God, Texas has not traveled. A big shout out to our friend Steve Miller. Steve Miller in the truck with his daughter, and his daughter loves the Stack song. So let's play it one more time for Steve Miller and his daughter. I respect Steve. Drive safely, my friend. And thank you for being a part of our community. We love capping with you. And shout out to your daughter. Respect.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
See, I want UConn first half. I can explain why I want them. I just don't know if that's enough. One time, is that enough to make a bet? The line moves 2 points against you, and you're saying, look, my explanation will unlikely have a positive ROI. Is that fair to say? You're muted, my man.
I get it. That's where I would be on this side here, Jim, would be UConn, probably more so in the first half, because when looking at this, I was just like, they got to blow these guys out with this kind of spread here, not just in the first half, probably full game, but I don't know. I kind of want to sit on this and wait a little bit. What time does this game go off? This is my time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So still got some time for this one. I want to kind of let the market marinate a little bit more, but wow, yeah, right before our eyes, we're just seeing 13.5s every single spot right now. Jim, maybe you wait a little bit if you want to get UConn in the first half. Is this going to get down to a 13? I don't know. Let me refresh this. I want to see what Circa's saying.
I think that Texas is a good enough basketball team to gather themselves. It's just I have to fade a team that hasn't played on the road yet. I have to. So I have to time this out properly and be patient. Much love, Sweaty Butcher. Good luck with the travel ball, my man. Sweaty Butcher coaching the boys baseball team. Respect and love. So I shouldn't say I have to. I really want to fade the Longhorns here in the first half. It's been working out so well. If I didn't have this single angle to start the year, my record would be trash, and I'm sitting here with a 10% ROI. And it's all because of fading these teams who haven't played on the road yet, especially the undefeated teams. That's fading an undefeated team that hasn't played on the road. I'm 4-0. I think 4-0 or 5-0. I think 5-0 now because Miami of Ohio cashed with UNC Cashville. Treek B in the house. He's on Texas plus 14.5 and UMBC minus 6.5. Those are good numbers. We got the prime cut as well from the Sweaty Butcher. We need a video for that. We need a video for that. That's a good. That's the easy one. Okay, so let's roll on. Stacks is on the over 145.5, and you are staying off at this point.
Yeah, and I was wrong. Now that I'm refreshing everything, it's seeming like all the money is on Texas out of all these books now. So. Okay. It's moving for a reason, I think, towards Texas. But again, I think it's a big number I would be on UConn here. That's what I wanted to be on. I'm not going to do it quite yet, but that's my lean.
The Stacks play of the day in on the last one. Let's roll into our next spot on the board because we have two plays of the day here. We have DC Capper on the Austin P under 143.5. And we have the Pig Milk play of the day. Pig Milk play of the day is East Tennessee State. The Buccaneers going to Clarksville, Tennessee, and get that cash, says our friend Billy. All right, let's set this up. The Buccaneers at the Governors. Governors have only played 2 games at home all season long, and the Buccaneers have traveled. So, and the Buccaneers are a good basketball team. Let's break this one down here. Their first road game was at Presbyterian. They lose 68-64. That was back on November 8th. Then they went to North Alabama on November 15th, beat them 78-74. And then they lose at Dayton. And we know that's a tough place to play. They lose 88-71. So those are the only 2 losses all year for the Buccaneers. Very interesting thing here one time, which is very different from what we've been talking about, generally speaking, because the Tusculum Pioneers, the Div 3 school, came to East Tennessee State. The Tusculum Pioneers shot 35% from the field and 29% from 3, and were in the game the whole time. So this isn't East Tennessee State beating up a Div 3 school by 65. This is them getting annihilated by their coach after the game. Just disgusted with their play. How could they have allowed this Div 3 school to be in this game? So it's a bit of a different angle. Had East Tennessee State beaten Tusculum by 65 points, I would certainly be looking at Austin Peay here, but that's not the situation. Let's talk about what the Governors have been up to lately. They're coming off their 4th loss in 5 games. Now, all of those losses came on the road. As I've told you, all their games have been on the road. They played Bryan College to start the year, another Div 3 school. They beat them 128-47. And then they play at Air Force, at Wyoming, at UNC Greensboro, at Ole Miss, at Tulsa. And they win 2 of those games. They lose 3, and the ones you'd expect. They beat Air Force and Greensboro. They lose to Wyoming, Ole Miss, and Tulsa. Then they have a home game, a rare home game. And what do? They smash and grab the Northern Illinois Huskies. They go back on the road, lose a couple tough games, and now they're back home. So I think that it's extremely fair to say that Austin Peay is much better than their statistical profile. Oh, I can't wait to hear it, G. I can't wait to hear it. I cannot wait to hear it. That'll be wonderful. So let's take a look at this line history here, and not a lot of books have it up. So where should we go here? Why don't we go to this book right here? This is a Sharp Offshore. This has not moved. It came out an hour and a half ago with Austin Peay plus. Oh, that's why I must be looking at first half. That's why it's not out. My bad. Sorry, I'm tripping. Let's go to the full game here. My bad. Because I was like, how could that make sense if Pig Milk is East Tennessee -4? So we have the plus 3.5 on Austin Peay. This opened up at 4 and immediately moved to 3.5 and got down to 2.5 by midnight. Then up to 4.5 this morning. And right now it's at 3.5. I wish that East Tennessee State had beaten Tusculum by 65. I'm going to go past the fact that they didn't. I'm going to trust, and I do not want to be on the other side of Billy Friedrich, but I want to trust the fact that the statistical profile is not legitimate because Austin Peay's played all these games on the road. And Wage Detective, this is great stuff, Wage Detective. Keep these up. I love this. Thank you. Says East Tennessee State destroyed them 79-54 last year. Where was that game, Wage Detective? I would love to hear it. Justin McKelvey is Austin Peay plus 3.5 in his pocket and sprinkled money line. Take it away one time. I'm all ears. You muted, my man.
Apologies, fellas. All right. No. All right, so let's get to this. Austin Peay. I kind of want to move on in first half here in this spot here. Looking at the Action Network, if we want to look at the market and see where they are here in this spot, it says 30% of tickets and 37% of cash on the spread for Austin Peay, a 4-4 team that just hasn't been playing good basketball. You mentioned it, on the road against a team that has been playing some good basketball, winning 4 of their last 5 games. They have an 8-2 record. Yet this is kind of a weird spread, and I think it is for a reason. Looking at the money line as well, 85% of tickets, 93% of cash on East Tennessee money line. So that's also interesting. I'm going with Austin Peay here, guys. I'm going to make this official here on the show with you guys. I'm going to move on the first half here, though. I'm going to move on the first half plus 1.5 at -105. Literally just took it right now, so I'm locked in on this game. I like this spot. So, yeah, I'm on Austin P here in this spot at home. I think they're going to take care of business full game, but I'm going to trust that they go out there on a Friday night and play their best in the first half and probably have the lead going into the second half. So give me Austin P in the first half plus 1.5 minus 105.
This is the first. I don't want to be on. I'd love to hear, Billy, if you have a second to talk to us about the thoughts behind East Tennessee State here, because I can't. It's going to be very difficult for me to get past the fact that the stats are going to be much, much worse for Austin P because they've had 2 games at home. And they haven't been bad in these road games, but they are coming off 2 straight losses.
They covered against Ole Miss.
Yeah, they lose by 7 against Ole Miss, lose by 9 to Tulsa. There's no shame in that.
I think Austin P wins it. Like, if I was going to move on this full game, I would just take the money line on Austin P. But since it's the first half, if I'm going to get a 1.5 in my back pocket for a first half, I'm going to take that 1.5 all day long rather than the money line. But who knows? Maybe I get involved in the Austin P full game money line later on. And also, guys, I just want to give these out officially because I just bet them as well, Jim. I went ahead and I did take UMBC -4, -110 minus 105 in the first half, Jim. Game we talked about right off the hop. I also moved on South Carolina State +9 -105 in the first half. And then
wait, slow down a bit. So UMBC first half -4, -105.
Yes.
And then you're on
South SC State +9 -105 in the first half. And then we went ahead and moved on NCAAT again, Maryland East under 60.5 -110 in the first half. So we've got 4 plays locked and loaded.
I love these. I love betting these tiny schools. I love it so much. Okay, you have the full game under what?
No, it's first half under 60.5 -110.
All right, we are in business here. In business. Premium pick, shouting out our guy, Wine Time Sports. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We have 2 more games of college basketball before we get into the NBA card. 3-headed monster there, Wine Time Sports, Justin Mcelvy and myself. And Wine Time and Justin leading by example, having great seasons. All of the records will be back in business here for us next week. I've got a 6-hour block that I locked up. I got to take Carter skating in the morning.
Nice.
And then we got to play Monopoly at 6 p.m. I got to be back here at noon and noon to 6 grinding here. That is the plan for Saturday. Let's get into our next spot on the board, East Texas A&M Lions. And we do have more action. We have Res Mob, steady mobbing. Respect play of the day is McNeese first half -11.5. Backing the McNeese Cowboys here. This is the opening Southland game for East Texas A&M. Let's get this all set up here and let's go over the line history for this spot here. Second to last game, we have McNeese -20. They opened up -19.5, and the initial move was a pretty heavy move towards East Texas A&M. This went down, and East Texas A&M's played some tough teams this year. This went from 19.5 down to a flat 17 at midnight. Since then, it's come back up to 20. So we've had a half-point move to McNeese State. From a total standpoint here, we have a 142.5. This total opened up at 141, got up to 142.5. This is yesterday afternoon. And then it dropped down to 140. It was a flat 140, got back up to 142. The 142.5 right now is the same as it was an hour after the line opened. So it is a point towards the over. Let's talk cash flow as well here. And we'll go over to the Action Network. They're telling us that 72% of tickets, 70% of cash is on the over. Oh, we don't want money line, sorry. And then on the spread, here, we have 54% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on McNeese. 54 and 65 on McNeese State. So let's set up the rest situation here for both of these. I think the important part of this is that this isn't, East Texas's first conference game. And they're playing really good basketball right now. They played at UConn and lost 83-59. There's no shame in that. They've won 3 of their last 4. They won 4 of their last 5 if you count a Div 3 Dallas Christian. But they coming off beating Central Arkansas at home. They've traveled and won. They started their year at New Mexico. They lose. They at Hawaii, at Rice. They lose these 3 games. Then they win at Fairleigh Dickinson. Then they play UConn pretty tough. So I kind of like these Lions. Now let's talk about McNeese here, because this is a team that's been winning and looking very good doing it. We have them at this point. They've won 2 straight, and they're only have 2 losses on the year. They lost at Santa Clara. That's a tough place to play, 79-67 to start the year. And then they lost to start the month at Incarnate Word, 71-67. And what did they do? They came back home, bounced back, and absolutely annihilated Northwestern State. They're coming off beating Rhode Island. I don't see this as a spot where McNeese, especially because they're 1-1 in the Southland, will overlook East Texas A&M. So I don't feel like I've got an edge here as situational by any means. We're in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and not too far away from San Antonio, Texas. 5-hour drive. We rocked Lake Charles a few years back, and shout out to Jeff Slaughter taking us there. Take it away for us here. Wine time. A&M, East Texas A&M Lions, McNeese Cowboys.
No play for me in this game, Jim. I would be on McNeese here minus the 20 points. This is the biggest favorite on the board right here. I think it's for a reason. I think McNeese is just going to blow the doors off these guys from start to finish. I'm not going to move on this game, though. Not enough for me to move on it quite yet. Maybe I do at some point. This game's at 5:30. I don't think I ever move on it because it could have gotten 18.5, and we're probably only going to see this get to 20.5, so maybe even 21s at some point. Don't have a handle here on Odds Logic, but yeah, Action Network's telling us that more of the bets and more of the money are coming in on McNeese, and the line has moved their way. I think McNeese is probably the play here in this game, guys. I'm just not going to move on it.
Well, let's roll into our final spot on the board here. Cal Baptist Lancers. Shout out to our guy, Mikey Nutflush Allen. Mikey and Kristen, they're on their way to Vegas as we speak. They've been very busy at work here. 3 days to booze and gamble. They are just a wonderful couple. Safe travels. And Cal Baptist Lancers, 7-3, 2-3 on the road. At the Eastern Washington Eagles, 2-7. But those 2 wins for Eastern Washington have come at home. And they're also coming off a smash and grab over the Roos, who might be the worst team in America in Div 1 ball. We have Cal Baptist coming off 3 road games, very difficult. So this was an undefeated Cal Baptist team. They went to Colorado, they lose by 8. They went to BYU, who's top 10 team in the nation, and they lose by 31. They go to Utah and they play their hearts out and lose by 6. And that was Saturday. So they've had 6 days off, and now they play Eastern Washington here. Let's talk about Eastern Washington again, because their only 2 wins have been here. So let's see they come off that smash and grab over the Roos, 90-66. I don't know if that necessarily helps. Their only other win this year was against Eastern Oregon, which is Div 2. So it's a surprise here. Yeah. And wait, they're saying, oh no, that's the big Eastern Washington State game. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We got Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian, in the house. Great to see you. We're getting into NBA next with our guy Justin Mcelvy. Let's set up the line history for our final spot on the board. Wine time, this total is a 152.5. Opened up 151.5, got up to 153, down to 151, up to 152.5. It's been a 1-point move towards the over. And then on the point spread here, we have a half-point move towards Eastern Washington. This is a fascinating one. So when we get to the cash flow, Odds Logic helps us here. They're telling us that Cal Baptist is a public road favorite. 62% of the tickets, 71% of the cash is on Cal Baptist. Circa is not giving us their numbers, but I can tell you that almost 8 hours after they opened up the line at 4, they dropped it down to 3, and they brought it back a half point to 3.5. We'll see if those numbers are comparable here to Action Network. They have 58% of tickets, 69% cash on Cal Baptist. So Cal Baptist is this public spot here at Eastern Washington. This is a very interesting spot. Jose Perez shouting out the Goracle for Dubai money line. Shout out to the Goracle. One time, take it away. Our last spot on the board.
Yeah, shout out to the Gorky, capping all sports out there. Shout out to our guy Gorky. Eastern Washington, it's simple, guys. Eastern Washington on the money line plus 145 here. We don't need the 3.5 points. This is a very fishy line if you're just looking at both these teams from the outside in. I mean, 7-3 team against a 2-7 team. Eastern Washington's victory is not impressive, and Cal Baptist played really good. I mean, some pretty good opponents that are in Power 4 conferences. Guys, teams like Colorado, BYU, Utah, the Big 12. I mean, don't get me wrong. They actually hung tight with Utah, only lost the game by 6 points. Hung tight with Colorado, only lost the game by 8 points. Covered the spread in those. And Eastern Washington hasn't done anything impressive, but yet here they are at home on a Friday night. Something tells me that this is an Eastern Washington spot. To me, I would have thought this line would be in a 5.5, maybe even a 6, even though they are on the road here in favor of Cal Baptist. But yet that we're only seeing 3.5s here. It just seems really fishy, guys. This is from a market standpoint only. I'm going to move on it. This will be my 5th play of the day. Eastern Washington money line plus 145. I think they're going to win this game outright. This makes no sense. And seeing the public coming in, taking Cal Baptist, as they probably should if you've watched these two teams play, I could see why you would probably be on Cal Baptist. And looking at their the competition that they faced, I would be on Cal Baptist too, but it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I thought, even though 62 and 71, I really thought this would be more in like the 65-70% ticket range. Surprised it's not. This is the last game on the board tonight, 6 p.m. over here on Pacific time. So maybe more of the public gets involved here, takes Cal Baptist. Maybe you can get a better number, but at the same time, I don't know. You might not be able to get a better number. This might just sit at a 3.5 the entire day. Who knows? Maybe this even gets to a 3. It was at a 4 at some point at some spots. The fact that it's moved already to a 3.5, this is an Eastern Washington spot, guys. To me, this screams Eastern Washington. The one game on the card that like kind of screams at me that I just need to take, that the books are kind of saying, come take Cal Baptist here. Take the 7-3 team against a 2-7 team on the road. Barely only have to cover 3.5, 4 points. I'm on the opposite, Eastern Washington money line.
I agree completely. The reason why I don't know if I can bet it is just because Eastern Washington comes off of a dominant performance.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't. And then you have, Cal Baptist off of 3 straight losses all on the road against tough teams. If I didn't see that, if I just looked at Cal Baptist is 7-3, 2-3 on the road, Eastern Washington Eagles 2-7, 2-0 at home. And we've seen Cal Baptist play against really tough basketball teams, and this line's only a 3.5, and it dropped. I would immediately bet Eastern Washington. But that 90-66 beatdown, Kelly McKiss says is 3 at Bet365. Well, clearly Eastern Washington is going to menace here.
I think it's must bet, Jim, honestly. As the day goes on, look at it maybe later in the day, but I just think this is a must bet for me for Eastern Washington. Just looking from the outside in, looking at the market and all that. And if it's at a 3, if this gets to a 3, I think it's pretty obvious that Eastern Washington is going to win this game. So this is going to be a fun one. I'm going to be watching this one for sure. So I'm excited for this game.
Oh, yuck. I want to join you so badly, but it just goes against a couple of my, oh God.
You got time. We got time, Jim.
All right, well, let's review college basketball here for Friday, December 12th. We have wine time on UMBC, first half -4, -105. I'm going to go back over that game in Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Then we have wine time on South Carolina State, Bulldogs, first half +9. I've got full asterisks beside that. I expect to be moving on that after the show. I'm very interested in Missouri State first half. It covers along the same line as South Carolina State, Bulldogs. But as Deacon said, we need the Michael Osei Bonzu in the lineup. And I honestly don't know how we're going to get that information, unfortunately. So I will try to get it. But regardless, I'm very interested in it. Then we have wine time moving on the first half under 60.5 in Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina A&T. That's in Greensboro. DC Capper gave us 2 spots. He gave us the South Carolina State over and the Austin P under. Stacks play of the day number 2 is UConn, Texas over 145.5 here. And he is on, and I'm interested in UConn first half, but I want to see what happens with that line. And then we have Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day, East Tennessee -4. And line time on Austin P first half +1.5. That Austin P is really, I just wish I wasn't going up against Pig Milk because it feels like it's the spot. Res Mob, Respect play days, McNeese first half -11, -11.5, -105. Line time just moved on Eastern Washington money line.
Do you see this, Jim, right here? Matty Ice?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Like, yeah, shout out to Matty Ice. I'm in good company with some people right now, so I like this Eastern Washington spot a lot. It's my favorite spot on the board. If we do a family and friends parlay at the end, I might take them on like the spread, maybe move it up to a 5 or something, but I think it's going to be Eastern Washington.
Shout out to Nunya in the house, last year's Cappers Contest champion. Matty Ice rocking with us as well. We also just received, how lucky are we? We just received AM's full card for tomorrow. So the full card for tomorrow is here from AM Sports Picks. It is wonderful to have that here.
Shout out to AM, man. He's a sharp capper. Love having him, watch him on screen. He's been doing a really good job.
He has big asset to the squad here. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board, and I've had enough of. I'm a shaky mess. I'm not sleeping. Every time you and our next guest hit the screen together, yeah, cheers with a shot. I'm always sitting there with no shot. I had enough of this. It's Friday. It's the freaking weekend, as Carter would say. It's the freaking weekend. So before these fellas have a shot, I'm going to go get a bottle and cheers with them. Please welcome, we talk about AM Sports Picks. Our next guest as being just a huge asset to our community, a revelation here with us. Crushing NBA right now, and I feel so guilty for being behind on records because both Wine Time and Justin are just crushing NBA for us, and it's hugely, hugely important. Thank you, Markel. That is what Carter said this morning. It's a freaking weekend, man. He tells his teacher that too, but I don't think she knows where the hell he got it from. She's not like, oh, that's R. Kelly. She doesn't know what's up. She doesn't know what's down. Please welcome our next guest, representing Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by way of Georgia. Please welcome Mr. Justin Mcelvy.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Justin, what's good, man? How are you?
Pretty good. How you?
I am great. And I'm about to be. Well, I'm not great.
Oh, there you go.
Go get that
I've
bottle,
been making
Jim.
money. I've been making money, but I'm not great. I'm a shaky mess. Give me a second. Wait, give me a second, fellas. I want in. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want in. I've had enough of.
Shout out to Jimmy. He's gonna get himself a little bottle.
That's called peer pressure. One time.
Hey, bad influences, but same
Yeah,
time,
week after week, he's here and watches. It's about time.
it's that good juju. You know what I mean? That's what we've been doing all
Yeah,
season.
we do it all together. We're gonna win together.
Yeah, why stop a good thing? You know what I mean? It's been a great show so far. I moved on, got 5 college basketball plays that I already moved on. I'm going to tweet them out after the show. Excited, man. This is going to be a fun NBA card. This week's been a little, on the slow side as far as sports gone with the NBA Cup. A lot of these college basketball teams a little bit winding down this week. We've got some really good action tomorrow, though. I don't know if you saw the card yet, Stacks, but
Yeah.
card tomorrow looks pretty damn good. So we're going to be live tomorrow on the tailgate. My guy Dabby Cab Guns is going to be there. Kong's going to be there. Stacks, if you're available, would love to have you. My guy the Goracle will be there as always. Sometimes even our very own Jose Bouquet joins us. So shout out to that. And we've got, 2 games tomorrow in college football, I believe. We've got
Boise and was it Washington and Army and Navy.
Yeah, that Boise Washington game is really interesting too. We didn't talk about that. I was capping it last night. I haven't made a play in it quite yet, but that's another really interesting spot there. I think Washington's probably going to smash Boise. Shout out to our guy Jimmy the Bag. Pour it up, baby. Let's go.
Hey, you guys, I love capping with you, man. Let's get this money, and very thankful. Very thankful.
Blessed.
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
It is. I waited all morning for that.
Matty Ice says, Jimmy knows that I don't care about the market when I count my games. I trust my cap. But one thing I've learned over time when the PSR family is when you see something like this Cal Baptist line, you have to bet Eastern Washington. The old me would be on Cal Baptist and probably lose this bet. Look, I agree. I have this issue about coming off of a smash and grab. I agree this line makes no sense. And that should probably lead me. Let me ask you, Justin Mcelvy, what did you think of the Cal Baptist Eastern Washington Eagles line after listening to us cap it? Do you think that I should overlook the fact that they just won by 30 points or whatever it is, and focus on the fact that the statistical profile of the team is wrong because of all the games they played on the road?
That's exactly the reason why I don't have no action in that game. That's why I didn't type nothing in the chat. First, I was looking in the over. Then I got chased off there. And I don't want to be on Baptist, so that makes me want to be on Eastern Washington, but I really don't want to be on them either. And with a small slate, I got a whole bunch of bets in the college, but I got 2 in the Austin P game, but this Cal Baptist game. I just felt like with a big slate tomorrow of college basketball, I ain't got to fight with this Eastern Washington game. I can let it go to 7 in the NBA. Huge slate tomorrow, so.
No, I feel you.
But I still have the over. I still got the over circled. So it's a 9:00 game Eastern time. So, but I'm not going to be on the side regardless. But I want to be on the over.
I'm gonna have to spend more time on this spot here, but I feel it. I feel it, Matty Ice, and thank you for caring so much here. Let's roll, fellas. 7 games on the NBA slate, and then we get into a merch race for our silver and gold members. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bulls 9-14, 3-9 on the road at the Charlotte Hornets, 7-17, 5-7 at home at Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to Wine Time Sports with a $9.99 dono to bless our action here. We love you, Wine Time. Justin, I'm trying not to think about the last minute of the Rockets game last night. Rockets Clippers. The Clippers are such bumbling idiots. That game was, and watching certain like Kawhi Leonard, watching the mistakes he was making. I mean, I was just astonished watching these bumps. The Rockets gave them every chance to win it or go. And Batum stepping on the line too when he's trying to throw it in. Like, it was just a bumbling idiots. But let's roll here. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're the Spectrum Center. Charlotte is 3-7 over their past 10. Chicago 2-8 over their past 10. But playing at a very different pace. Chicago playing at the fastest pace in the NBA over the last 10 games. But we're not talking 106.5 possessions a game anymore. We're talking 103.95. Both teams are shooting terribly. Bulls are shooting 44.8 from the field and 33.7 from 3 over their last 10 games. Charlotte shooting 44.2 from the field and 31.4 from 3 here. We have Ronnie Crawford in the house with the spreadsheet play of the day, which we will be discussing when we get to the Brooklyn Nets game. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Ronnie Crawford, my man. Let's get into the line history here, and let's also pull up the information from the shoot-around. I should have had that up. I don't, so let me get that up right now. Here, shoot-around info. And I'm excited. I'm excited about this card. I'm excited about hammering away here. Chicago's an absolute mess, but look at this. So Ayo and Herter out. Colby White, Jalen Smith, Isaac Okoro. I mean, they're all Trey Jones, Zach Collins. They're all in. They're all probable and in.
Wow.
And that's what we're going to get throughout all. This should be the cleanest injury report of the year. Finally, because all these teams have had 5 days off.
Yeah.
We should be able to make real clean moves on this NBA card. For the Hornets, Williams out, Sexton out, Trey Mann out, Pat Connaughton out, and LaMelo Ball out, and then their must needed rebounder Diabate is probable. So that is the situation here. So it's clear, at least. We have Chicago -3. Chicago is -3 minus 110. Not sure why it's not coming up. Here, line detail moving a little slow, but it's up now. This opened up at minus 3.5. It opened up at minus 3.5, 8:22 p.m. last night, and quickly down to 2.5. Got up to 3.5 again about 9:30 this morning. Right now we have the 3, so we have a half-point move towards the Hornets. And then on the total here, we have a 229. So just a massive move to the under. 235.5 down to 229. This got down to 228 at 12:50 p.m. So Kent Davies says, I feel like the Bulls should be a heavier favorite. This line stinks. Let's get to the cash flow for this one as well. Set the table, and then we'll get Justin Mcelvy to hit lead off for us here. As the cash is, here we go. We have 50% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on Charlotte, and Circus moved this to a 2.5. 73% tickets on the under, 78% cash on the under. So Bulls coming off their 7th straight loss, 123-91 at home to the Warriors on Sunday. It's the first time all year they haven't scored 100 points. Now, they lost 123-116 to the Hornets on November 28th. So this is a team who's lost 7 straight games. Loss number 2 was against Charlotte. I don't know how much that matters, though. Like, it's not. Giddey has been stepping up. He went for 25 in that game against the Hornets, week and a half or whatever it was ago. And he's been their leading scorer in 5 of the last 6 games. Hornets coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 115-106 at home to the Nuggets on Sunday. So both teams, all the teams that we're going to be talking about are rested here. And no one's on the first half of a back-to-back. We have LaMelo Ball being out with the ankle injury. And so KJ Simpson is being this primary ball handler, and he's getting better as it goes on. He went for 16. We also have Brandon Miller, who's just going to wear a wrap around the shoulder for the rest of the season. He just wants to be in the rotation. And then we have, thank God, Diabate's out. And Miles Bridges, it's too bad. I don't want to speak on what happened to Miles Bridges earlier in his career, because they're all saying such great things about him, leading the way, being accountable, being at every practice, working hard, being the leader of this basketball team. Take it away, Justin, our first game on the Bulls Hornets.
Yeah, I got to play in this game. I got a player prop, but I was mad because when I first was looking at this game yesterday, I really wanted to be on the under. And I was staring at, whenever I caught it, it was 233.5. And I ended up going to sleep on it, but I had it circled. And then when I woke up, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., somewhere around there, the number was gone. And I was so mad because I just, the only thing that hesitated me was like, I don't know, just the Hornets home games, even though they trend to the under, I was just hesitant. And then I missed my number, so I was mad. So I started digging in more. And then I realized the Bulls, and even though they lost the last game that they just when they just seen them, the Bulls own this series. Like, and the last time I remember they spread, I didn't even look it up, but I remembered off the top of my head that we just seen this game, the game you talked about, the score when the Hornets won. Bulls was favored by like 1.5, 2. And the Hornets was on the road, or the Hornets was home and the Bulls was on the road. And the Hornets won that game outright. And I'm like, I don't cap no more revenge games. So I started looking at props, and then it led me to Miles Bridges. And I started looking at his points and rebounds, points and assists. And then I went back to the last, without LaMelo Ball, in the last meeting against the Bulls. Melo was in that game, but Miles Bridges had 15 rebounds and assists. And that's exactly what I'm on right now. He cleared his last game against the Nuggets. He had 17. And I'm on Miles Bridges, 15 plus rebounds and assists plus 215. If you don't want to go that high, his regular line is over 12.5 rebounds and assists. So anybody who don't want to, everyone knows that I chase the plus money. So if you want 12.5, you get 12.5 pretty much everywhere. But I got 15 plus 215. And I feel like whether it's a slow-paced game, I hope it starts off fast so I can get a better number on the under. I looked a lot at the under since I missed my numbers, so maybe I'll get a big outbreak in the first quarter, and then I can live bet. And then Bet Rivers, um, every sport they give you one live bet, and they give you a profit boost, like per sport. So like hockey. So hopefully I get a better number, like fast paced first quarter. I looked at under, but my official bet for the show is Miles Bridges, 15 plus rebounds and assists, plus 215.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I wonder one time, is this number off? The Hornets are 5-7 at home, and the Bulls are 3-9 on the road. I mean, we could look at their overall records or what the Bulls did, but it doesn't feel like it's that off to me necessarily. Do you feel like this is off?
True.
I mean, it should be moving to the Hornets. Justin, do you feel this number is off?
I do, but just like you said, they're 3-9. They're 1-10-1 ATS on the road as favorites. Talking about the Bulls, like you covered once out of 12 times, you covered once, and I just seen this matchup, and y'all lost. Like I just don't think this Bulls team. Like I don't think the numbers off. The only thing I thought was that it opened up too high, and I missed that number. But as far as the spread, I mean, if you just say Bulls and Hornets, the spread's right. But if you're saying ATS compared to straight up wins for the Hornets at home, don't look at ATS. But if you look at the straight up wins for the Hornets, being that's a 2.5, then you look at the Bulls ATS 1-10-1. I don't want them in this spot, but I also don't want the Hornets.
Yeah, and the Bulls, the thing is, guys, early in the season, we found a lot of value on them early in the season, I think because they were dogs in a lot of spots, and we were able to cash on them. And I said it, guys, weeks back. I mean, if Josh Giddey's your best player on your court, you're not going to be very good. And I think this team is heading in the completely wrong direction where a lot of people thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season. I said a lot of good things about them in the beginning, but now watching them play, I don't think this is a very good basketball team. Do I think this number is a little short? Maybe, just because of some people, I think, still have that bias that the Bulls might be pretty good because people have been cashing on Giddey. They've got, Kobe White over there, Vucevic. They got some guys. They've got a good head coach over there. But it just, to me, that's not a good basketball team. It's crazy to say this, but I'll take Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges over Vucevic and Giddey, even though, you know what I mean? I'm going to take those two guys. I think those are the better duo on the court in this game. They're playing at home. Do I think this is a short line? I don't think so. Maybe it could have been a 3.5 just because of people I feel like still have, like I said, have that bias that the Bulls are a good team. If someone, I don't know if people do believe that. I don't know how you can at this point, but at the same time, I'm on the Hornets money line plus 120 here, guys. I think they're going to win this game outright. I think they've got the two better players on the court here at home. They're playing a better brand of basketball the last couple of weeks. I get it. Both teams have been off, so teams are rested. I think this Bulls team is going to be a fade going forward. I think they were now the fact that they're favorites against these bottom feeders, teams like the Pacers that we cashed on last Friday on the money line. What was it, plus 160 with the Pacers, took care of business against this bad Bulls team. This isn't a good team. And the fact that they're short favorites against these bottom feeders, I think the Bulls are going to be the bottom feeders here in the next couple weeks. I think this team is going to be really, I don't think this team is going to win too many games the rest of the way. So give me the Hornets money line plus 120. I'm kind of heavy on this, guys. I kind of want to move on this in a double up spot, not just on the full game, but on the first half as well. With the Charlotte Hornets, I want to pull up the first half and see the best number I can get at a couple.
Have you ever seen a team with losing 7 straight games as a favorite?
That's another thing that too, Jim. It's just like, you're right.
My fault one time, but that's the only thing when I look at that I always hear Jimmy's voice when it's like 3 a.m. Pause. It sounds crazy, but I always hear Jimmy say like, "So what, we think the books are stupid?"
Yeah, no.
And then when I hear that, I'd be like, "The book's not stupid."
Yeah. My thing is there's only probably a couple teams out there that I think the Hornets would be favorites against. Maybe the Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets. There's another really bad team out there that I can't think of right now. So I don't know. That's a good point right there, though, Jim, because it's a falling knife, and sometimes you want to try to catch that falling knife because you can get lucky on those spots. I've done it in the past. Last season, I would do it. I'd be on teams if it'd be a kind of a weird line if a team had lost a lot of like 5+ games in a row. And yeah, I agree with you, but I am on the Hornets full game here. I think they're going to take care of business. So yeah, I moved on the money line plus 120.
I'm glad you did because Bridges is going to have to help you out. So
yeah, I think him and Brandon Miller are going to have themselves their point prop right now is both, I think 21.5. I think Miles Bridges is 22.5 and Brandon Miller's is 21.5. I think those two are going to eat out there. I just don't like this Bulls team. It might just be me like trying to fade the Bulls from here on out, guys. I've done it quite a bit these last couple of weeks after being on them. And I think I might be doing that in some spots. And I'm on the Hornets here. I do fading a team that's a favorite after losing 7 in a row definitely can be a little scary though. So I definitely hear that, but I think the Hornets take care of business.
Because when we first started talking about it, I was like, this line is fishy. And then the longer that I sat with it, I was like, well, it's not impossible for the books to be like, look, we'll put out, we like the Bulls in this spot. They've lost 7 straight games. Nobody and their mom is going to want to touch them. So we'll put out a line with them as 4-point favorites, and all the money will come in on the Hornets. Now, we're not seeing that. We're seeing big bets come in on the Bulls and the line move towards the Hornets. So I
moved it to a 2.5 too. That's wow. Yeah, Circa's has 2.5 at Circa right now. Sorry to interrupt.
No interrupt at all. No, I get what you guys are doing. I'm going to need more time with it. Justin on Bridges, 15 plus rebounds and assists, plus 215. Wine time on the Hornets money line at plus 120. Let's roll into our next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. The Atlanta Hawks 14-11, 10-5 on the road at the Detroit Pistons 19-5, 10-2 at home at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Let's start with figuring out, because again, these games, this is going to be like a one-off. Everything's really clean on the injury reports for all of these teams because they've been off for 5 days. So we have a completely healthy Detroit Pistons squad going up against a Hawks squad where we know Porzingis and Trae Young are out. There's nobody questionable. Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Rissache, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu are your starting 5 for the Hawks. Cunningham, Robinson, Thompson, Harris, and Duran are the starting 5 for the Detroit Pistons. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We start with a total of 232.5. This opened up at 233, dropped down to 231.5, got up to 234 at midnight. Now we're at 232.5. So it's a half-point drop towards the under. From a point spread standpoint, we have Detroit -7 at -115. Opened up at 6.5, dropped down to 5. So this is all, yesterday around noon. Now it's come up to 7. So we have just a half-point move towards the Detroit Pistons. When we get to the cash flow here, we have here we go. We have 56% of tickets, 58. Oh, all right.
I waited so long. I didn't spill a little bit.
Oh, sorry guys. I wasn't even looking at the screen. My bad. I was looking at the charts. My bad. Cheers to you guys. Love being here with you guys. Love capping with you guys. Stacks, I hope you can be doing this with us in San Antonio.
Oh, we need it.
My guy.
We need them,
brother. Cheers.
Yeah, it's looking like a year.
Well, that's the best news, man. That's the best news. Again, we don't want to put pressure on people. We know life gets in the way, but that would be.
I like pressure.
So do I.
I feel like I do my best work under pressure.
I'm right with you. 56% of tickets, 58% of cash on the Hawks, 69% of tickets, 84% cash on the under. So let's roll here. Atlanta 5-5 over the past 10. 8th fastest pace in the NBA, 101.73 possessions a game, shooting 48.4 from the field and 37.7 from 3. The Pistons 7-3 over the past 10, 100.9 possessions a game. That's 12th fastest in the NBA, shooting 48.8 from the field and 36.2 from 3. So this is the third time in less than a month these teams play each other. I mean, they're not divisional rivals or anything like that, but they met November 18th. Cade went for 25 and 10. And they went into Atlanta and won 21-12. And then they played again December 1st, much tighter game, 99-98. Jalen Duran went for 21 and 11. Jalen Johnson's being an absolute monster, 23.4 points, 10.5 boards, 7.9 assists a game. He's been just rolling. Hawks snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 131-116 win at the Wizards on Saturday. Pistons coming off their second straight win in 4th and 5 games, 124-112 at home versus the Bucks on Saturday. So these teams haven't played since Saturday. 6 days off. The Pistons have not been – they've been playing sloppy. Look, this is a 19-5 team, so you're not going to find a lot of holes, but they are averaging 15.2 turnovers. They talked a lot about it over the week, how there's lots that they want to clean up. They don't think they're playing their best basketball. Take it away for us here. Wine time, Hawks, Pistons.
Yeah, this is an interesting game here, guys. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. Jimmy, you texted me on Friday. You're like, oh, great work again on NBA. And I was like, wait, what? We finished 500. And I saw that the Hawks ended up covering the spread. I ended up turning the game off because they blew such a crazy lead in that game. We were on them on the money line and the spread, so we ended up pushing on that spot. But I thought I went 0-2 because I think I turned it off like the last 3 or 4 minutes because I thought it was over. And I was like, oh, crap. So shout out to the Hawks for that. As far as this game goes, guys, I mean, the Detroit Pistons, this is one of the best teams in basketball right now. Going back to last season, I remember talking about this team. Cade Cunningham, really good player out there. I think this team is building something really special over there in Detroit. I think they're going to be able to win a lot of games this season. This is one of the better teams in the East. Hawks, Jalen Johnson. I mean, this guy's just playing out of his mind right now, Stacks. I mean, this guy's averaging nearly 24 points a game, shooting over 50% from the field, 40% from three, playing good defense too. You got Nickeil Alexander out there as well, playing some good basketball. Obviously, KP is not going to be in this one. Obviously, Trae Young has been out for quite some time, but I feel like at times the Hawks have been playing better without Trae Young. I don't know if it's just me, Stacks, but that's to me, I've been seeing that. This is a tough spot, though, I think, for the Hawks. I think the 7.5 is a little bit telling. Yeah, Detroit's a lot better of a team, but I thought this would probably be more of like a 6.5. And that is where this originally opened up, but it's only moved towards Detroit. And right now we're seeing 56% of tickets, 58% of cash on Atlanta. So, and wow, this is crazy, Jim. Wow, that's insane. According to the Action Network, 55% of bets and 58% of cash. So this is completely 100% identical other than 1% on the bet percentages from Action and Wager Talk right now. So that's really interesting. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen ticket split being pretty much identical, and that's what they're showing us here. So more people are coming in on the Hawks, but yet they've moved this a point and a half towards Detroit. Something tells me Detroit's going to probably take care of business here. Am I going to lay 7.5 with Detroit? No, because Atlanta's been good to me in the past. They've covered spreads like these. Maybe something like a double result, but at the same time, I haven't really been doing double results in the NBA, but I do think the Pistons will be in control of this game from start to finish. Not going to move on it quite yet. Didn't have enough conviction. Not everything correlated enough for me to move on this, but if I was going to move on it, I think I would be on Detroit in a double result type of spot, but it's a pass for me as of right now.
I'm very close to moving on the Pistons, a full game spread. Let's hear what Justin has to say. His Hawks 10-5 on the road this year. They've been a good road team. Take it away, Justin.
Stacks play today number 1, 7 o'clock. I don't know. They always, according to the time that they play, I'm high. I don't remember. Stacks play day number 1, I think it is. My Atlanta Hawks plus 7.5 minus 110. Ooh. And I love this play. I'm going to try to talk y'all both off the Pistons. We've seen this matchup twice, and they didn't cover the last game. Talking about the Pistons. My Hawks covered. We was on the second leg of a back-to-back. And this Pistons team, they're 1-7 at home, ATS. Like, they win games. Their win-loss record is immaculate. But when you look at their ATS record, you don't want the Pistons ATS. I don't know if it's 1-7 last 8 or 1-7 at home, but they're 1-7 ATS, and you don't want them against the Hawks. The Hawks team last 10 road games were 8-2 ATS. And I feel like we're going to win this game outright. I think the 7.5 is way too high. Both teams coming off the same amount of rest. We've been resting. And I got 2 plays in this game. And if you look at the trends, 4 of the last 6 meetings that went over, I'm on the Hawks Stacks play today, number 1, plus 7.5. And I'm also on the over. I didn't post it, so best number you could get me. I'm on the over. Whatever best number you could get me for the best odds. I love them both. If it's under 234, then I'll take something for plus money on the over.
232 we can get you. Flat,
Yeah,
minus 110.
Yeah.
232?
Yep.
Minus 110? What's 232.5? If you don't mind looking.
Let me open up that book here. I mean, I don't need to be on the Pistons here. I can get
Yeah, I wasn't completely sold on him quite yet. I'm going to let it wait a little bit. I'm seeing Stacks. I'm seeing it. My book's giving me a 232.5 at minus 105 right now. So that's a great number for you.
I like that. And for the last 5 meetings, we didn't cover just any trend betters. Like, I love this spot. I'm not giving out official because the last 3 shows, I struggled. Well, maybe Low Shack show, I've been struggling. I had one good day on there, but so I just want to win. So just know I bet the money line, but my bigger part is the Hawks and the over. I love the Hawks today. And it's only the second time I bet a Hawks game or props, but I love my Hawks today. And I'm watching it.
Okay, let's roll on here.
So that's what I got, 232.5, minus 105.
Plus 101.
Oh, wow.
Plus 101? Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Over 232.5 plus 101 available offshore as we speak here. So, yeah. Jose will be able to start the race. Okay, no worries, Jose. If we just close the show with it, Jose's got double duty here, popping off in 9 minutes with in the building. So Stacks play day number 1, Hawks plus 7.5 minus 110, and the over 232.5 at plus 101. Fernando Mendoza on the other side. He's on the under in this one. The Godfather on Johnson under 10.5 rebounds. Robert Franklin on Okongwu over 16.5 points. Chris Warren on Cunningham over 41.5 PRA. And nice. I love this. The Steam Fitters Union here has called Rob free. He's already booked San Antonio, but Jay Peasy saying welcome to the UA. If a great job gets in the way, then we're happy for you, Rob. But man, do we want to break bread finally after all these years capping together? So no pressure. See how things bang out. Let's roll. Oh, I've got to put the question marks here beside the Pistons here. Sorry. Okay.
You ain't got to put them there.
Well, I do because the asterisks mean bet it after the show. If I have question marks with it, it means sit with it and figure it out. So that's
put like a Mr. Yuck sticker on that and just cross that out.
All right, let's roll. Aubrey saying, damn, Stacks play today. He is off the Pistons now. We have Stimmy OG on the house. In the house, he's big on the Jazz plus 7.5 in the money line. Also big on the over 221 in Dallas Nets. We're going to go over all those spots. Stimmy, thank you for sharing that with us. We start 7 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Pacers 6-18, 1-10 on the road at the Philadelphia 76ers, 13-10, 7-7 at home. We're Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the injury information, which again should be quite clean. Now, I expected Maxey to play in this game. He's listed as questionable. Embiid is probable. Oubre out. But I thought Maxey was playing. Let's just get a quick update here as to what they have here. So he's sick. That's the problem. So that's bad. He was probable, and he's been downgraded to questionable. So as I said, there wasn't going to be these issues today. There is with sickness, not really with injury. On the other hand, here, pretty clean. Obi Toppin, Shepard, Naismith all out. Jackson is questionable. So it's Nemhard. So Thompson, they expect to be the starting 2. And then Mathurin, Siakam, and then Jay Huff. But it's Ethan Thompson, who we haven't seen very much of, that is expected to be the starting 2 tonight. So let's roll here. Both teams 5-5 over the past 10. Both teams playing at a very similar pace. The Sixers 101.24 possession game. That's 11th in the NBA over the last 10 games, while the Pacers are 13th, fastest 100.45. The Pacers shooting much better than the Sixers. Pacers shooting 48.4 from the field and 38.2 from 3, while the Sixers shooting just 44.3 from the field and 34% from 3. Pacers are being backed here by Tariq B. Says 76ers have been in close games. They did with the rundown of the Warriors. If you guys recall, Tariq on the Pacers plus 7.5. Robert Franklin on Siakam over 3.5 assists here. Let's talk about the spot. We got MMA Locker Room here. He's on Maxey over 27 points here. Prop shop. So Millsy thinks Maxey's going to be in. The downgrade with the sickness is nerve-wracking here. And he says, rise up, Falcons fan. That was a big, big win for you guys. A big win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Oh, my fault.
A big win. Maxey over 27 here for Mills. Let's get this copied and pasted here and locked in right under this spot. And let's get back to where. So Pacers coming off their second straight win, 116-105 at home over the Kings on Monday. Nemhard went for 28 and 12 assists. That's his first double-double all year. Bennett Mathurin went for 25. And if the Pacers win this game, Carlisle has 1,000 wins. He's at 999 wins right now. And if he wins this, he's at 1,000. So he'll be the 11th coach in NBA history to hit 1,000. Sixers come in off having their 3-game winning streak snapped, a 112-108 loss at home to the Lakers on Sunday. Maxey went for 28, 9, and 7. Edgecombe 15. Andre Drummond went 11 and 12. And we get to watch Embiid and Paul George play together again. God, it's ugly. Embiid went for 16. George added 12. Embiid shot 4 of 21 from the floor and 0 of 6 from 3. George went 3 for 8 from the field. So these guys combined to go 7 of 29 from the field. Horrific. Take it away, Justin. Your thoughts here, Pacers, Sixers.
Yeah, the last thing you just mentioned about Carlisle, I just found that out about an hour ago. My homie Dimes messaged me. And I'm making it official. I'm on the Pacers plus 7.5. I got it at minus 112. And the only thing that worried me, and I didn't find it out until recently, but I had already bet it. But my whole thing is, okay, you're going to be the 11th coach to get 1,000 wins. So, and then I looked ahead, and your next game is on Sunday, and it's at home. So. But that don't mean nothing about a 7.5 point spread. But it just makes me think, like, if we talking about their 1,000 win, I know he knows about it. Would you rather get it on the road and get a minimum celebration? And that, matter of fact, they play the Wizards, I think it was. So, like, you get a layup line to get your 1,000th win on Sunday at home in front of your fans. So I'm still going to make it official because I bet it. But when I heard that 1,000 win, I lost all my confidence. There's so many trends that was backing the Pacers after I bet it that I seen. And I was so frustrated because the Maxey, when he got downgraded, it went down to 5.5. And I was like, damn, I can't give it out on pub now because I didn't post it nowhere. That was like now it's 2:30. So it was probably like 4 or 5 hours ago now. And it went down at least on Bet Rivers. It shot down to 5.5. And me and my homie Don, he from Indy, and we was texting about it. And then it shot back up to 7, and then it shot back up to 7.5. And I'm like, man, if Maxey's not in, I'm about to find a bet to make up for it. But I bet it. Since I bet it, I'm making it official. I don't have the conviction or the confidence no more, but since I bet it, I'm making it official because if Maxey get ruled out, I feel like I'm shot. And him all of a sudden becoming downgraded, he got downgraded to questionable. He was cool. And then he got downgraded and then the line dropped. And I don't know what happened to make it go right back up to where it opened up. So with the line, I'm assuming y'all seen what I seen. Because when I woke up, it was 7.5. And then a couple hours, not a couple hours, it's 2:30 now, 5 hours ago, it was 5.5. And then about an hour before the show started, so maybe 11 a.m. Eastern, is when I heard about the Carlisle 1,000th win. And I was like, ooh, it's a good spot. And then I looked and seen they play the Wizards on Sunday. I'm like, man, that could be the script. 1,000th win and a blowout win against the Wizards.
Yeah.
Get blown out tonight. Blowout win on your 1,000th win. So I'm giving out Indiana Pacers plus 7.5. I'm giving out because I bet it. But like I said, I lost my confidence. That 1,000th win messed me up. And if Maxey don't play, I feel like I'm shot. You know how I feel about star player.
Yeah, especially getting announced day of or a few hours before. This line opened up at 7.5, 4:32 p.m. yesterday. Here, where we used to play poker, BOL, never got to 5.5. It dropped to 6 at 10 in the morning. I guess the downgrade happened around 9:45 in the morning because it went from quick 7.5 to 6. Now it's back here at 7, juiced slightly, very slightly to the Pacers. From a total standpoint here, we have the 224.5. So this opened up at 229.5, got up to 230.5, and now we're all the way down to 224.5. This is another game like the first one we talked about where the total just dropped drastically. And cash flow wise here, 72% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Pacers. 72 and 91, 57 and 94 on the under. That's just wild. Absolutely wild. Now, it's not as public here at Circa, but it's 59 and 59, and they're just holding steady with the 7. Wine Time Sports, take it away for us here. Pacers, Sixers.
Yeah, I think this line is sharp. I think it's right where it needs to be here. Philly coming off a loss. Indiana coming off back-to-back wins, playing some better basketball as of late. I'm off this game as of right now. It would only be Philly for me, though. I think that this 7 is pretty sharp, though. I do think that Philadelphia could probably win this game by margin in this spot, but wasn't enough for me to move on it. I'll make it quick and simple, but yeah, I would only be on Philly here. -7 against a team that's coming off back-to-back wins. They're feeling a lot better than themselves. I didn't know about that 1,000 wins. That's crazy. Shout out to Rick Carlisle. He's a great coach. Love everything he's done, but I think that this is a Philly spot. Kind of want to like a Philly-Detroit money line parlay, but at the same time, those kind of money lines in NBA are just disgusting. I can't do it if I'm not going to lay those kind of money lines, but that does seem like you could probably get some even money if you took both those teams on the money line in a parlay. But as of right now, I'm off. It would only be 76ers for me winning this game by double digits. But Pacers, I don't know. I mean, they've been playing better basketball, but I mean, if you still look at their starting 5, it's still absolutely disgusting. Don't get me wrong, Benedict Mathurin, like I said last week, is going to be playing his way into a nice contract. He's going to have a nice payday here coming up the way he's been playing, averaging over 20 points a game. Nembhard, we know he can shoot it. We know Siakam's an absolute baller out there. So they got guys, but I'm off this game. Nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little more time with it as well. I want to know what's going on with Maxey, so wait for that 5 p.m., at least 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's roll on next spot on the board, but we have Justin McKelvey, Pacers plus 7.5. Same with Tariq B. We roll on. Next up for us, Cleveland Cavaliers, 14-11, 5-5 on the road. The Washington Wizards, 3-19, 2-8 at home at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Let's get into the line history for this one. We have the total at 244. Wow. Opened up at 239, and it's just climbed. Got up to 244.5 at 6 a.m., dropped down to 242.5 at 9 a.m. We're right back at 244 right now. So a 5-point move towards the over. On the point spread, the Cavs open up -14. They're now -14.5. Oh, no, sorry. They opened up -14.5. That's where they are. 3 cents of movement. That's it towards the Cavs. So not much happening there. We get to the cash flow. My man Londo in the house. He's on Bulls -2.5. Jazz plus 7.5. Fernando Mendoza on the under 224.5 in that Pacers game. Here, though, we have cash flow wise, 75% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Cavaliers. Circa has moved it to 15. 86% of tickets, 86% of cash on the under. Mostly 243.5s in the legal books, but it's higher than that here as well. So let's set this one up. Cleveland 4-6 over their last 10. 15th fastest pace in the NBA, 100.05 possessions a game. Shooting the ball poorly. Not bad from the field, but 33% from three is ugly. Washington shooting 36.4% of three. They've won 2 of their last 10, 101.35 possessions a game. That's 10th fastest in the NBA. Shooting 46.6% from the field. Let's take a look at the injury report here, and it's clean. Jared Allen is out. Strus out. Merrill out. Nance out. Jalen Tyson playing the 3, and Garland, Mitchell, Hunter Mobley. Then for the Wizards, Koulibaly, Kispert, Middleton, Sarr all out. Branham out. So it's Carrington, McCollum, George, Champagny, and Bagley. We have the Cavaliers coming off their second loss in 3 games, 96-94 at home to the Warriors on Saturday. They had played 5 games in 7 days. They were exhausted. They've lost 5 of their last 7. They scored just 94 points against the Warriors. That's a season low. Donovan Mitchell still putting up 30.5 points per game. It's 4th in the NBA. Evan Mobley putting up 18.9, 9.1. And they thought that Jared Allen would be back. He was a full participant in practice on Tuesday. Why is he not back? I mean, it's a finger injury, so something's up. Maybe he hurt it again in practice, but the idea was that he was going to be back here. Wizards come in off their third straight loss, 131-116 at home to the Hawks on Saturday. The Wizards' defense is horrific, and that's why we see this total at 244. They're allowing 128.3 points per game. That's insane. They're committing 16.2 turnovers per game. Their point differential per game is 16, minus 15.9. That's unbelievably bad. This is, you know what? This stat makes me sad from my past as a Grizzly fan. God, my neck. My past as a Grizzly fan, but Brian Keefe is 29 and 114 as a coach. It's the second worst winning percentage for any coach with a minimum of 100 games. It's unbelievable that there's been a coach in the NBA who's won worse than a 203 winning percentage. And I remember it all. Brian fucking Winters, 95, 96. I went to a bunch of these games in 95, and anyone could go. They went 15 and 67 that year. Then Brian Winters got fired the next year in 96, 97. They went 8 and 35. And what's unbelievable is that and Brian Winters should have got another opportunity. He got another opportunity. In 2001, 2002, they let him coach the Golden State Warriors, and he went 13 and 46. I mean, those are the worst numbers. You'll never hear of a coach in any of the four major sports with a worse winning percentage than Brian Winters. And he never got to coach again. They let him coach in the WNBA for a few years. He's a winning record in the WNBA. Congratulations, Brian Winters. Fucking ass clown. So that's what Brian Keefe is doing. The second worst winning percentage in the history of the NBA. Sar hurt, so his 19.1 points per game out the window. CJ McCollum there with 18.6. Take it away. Wine Time Sports, Cavs, Wizards.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. Again, like the last game, I think that line is right where it needs to be here. But seeing 93% of the money on any team in the NBA is always worrisome. A spot, personally, I would never like to be in the NBA. In other sports, maybe, but not here, especially seeing that some of these sharper books open this up at a 14.5, and that this has only gone to a 15. Something tells me that this number is right about the number we're going to get by the end of the game. I think it's probably going to end around this point total of 15, 16 points. I'm not going to take my chance on either or the side. If I was going to, I would probably be on the Washington Wizards here. And it's kind of crazy to say that. Looking at their starting five, I mean, CJ McCollum is the best player on this team. I mean, maybe like 8 years ago that was could have been a thing, but not now. So something tells me, though, that this might be enough points for the Wizards to cover just from looking at the market scene. Everyone coming in and hammering the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another thing is that they're coming off a loss to the Golden State Warriors, so don't want to fade them coming off a loss either. So I'm going to be off this. Seeing 15s right now. I know some places have 14.5 still, which is absolutely wild. Something tells me Washington covers this spread. Maybe it's a backdoor cover. Maybe it's a blowout in the fourth quarter. They take the Stars out, and the B team maybe covers this spread in some way, but I'm off it. Nothing for me in this game. 86% of tickets and 86% of the cash on the under. We're seeing some 243s. We're seeing some 244.5s too at some public books. So that's also interesting. It's the highest total on the board, and it's moving up right now. It just moved a point up at FanDuel. So Utah and Memphis is the only other matchup here that we're going to be looking at that's pretty close to this total at 242. Nothing for me on this game. It's a pass.
I'm starting to see the flaws in my approach a little bit because I'm so situational. And you have all these teams with 5 days off, and I'm just sitting here like moose in the headlights. Let's hear from Justin, Cavs, Wizards. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't have absolutely nothing in this game. I dug into it because when I looked at the point spread, I felt like first I was looking at the team total, and then the team total for the Cavaliers was 129. And to ask you to score 130 points, I mean, it seemed like a lot of teams do it against the Wizards, but I just didn't want to put a lot of effort. I don't do player props, maybe 7.5, 8.5. up to maybe 9.5, but 15. I can't do player props. I don't want this Wizards team. I definitely don't want to ask. I don't want the Cavs as a favorite, let alone a 15-point favorite. But I don't have nothing. There was not. I don't even have nothing. I'm looking at my notes now. I don't even have nothing underlined, circled, or nothing in this game.
Huh.
It's just we don't want the Cavs as a favorite, and now we're talking about a 15-point favorite, 14.5. Like, but if anybody, if there's anybody they could do this to,
The Wizards, yeah.
it's the Wizards. But like
Yeah.
Wonton said, they could be up 25 and call off the horses.
That's an ugly one. Let's see if we find something in the next one. 8 p.m. Eastern, the Utah Jazz, 8-15, 2-8 on the road at Memphis Grizzlies, 11-13, 6-6 at home. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Memphis -7, -110. Opened up at 6.5, dropped down to 6, got up to 7, 7.5, and then dropped down back to 7. Still a half-point move towards the Memphis Grizzlies. From a total standpoint, we have a 242.5. So we have another total here that's climbing and it's only been climbing. Opened up at 238.5, now 242.5. So we have a 4-point move towards the over. When we get into the cash flow, we have 56% of the tickets, 55% of cash on the Utah Jazz, 53% of tickets on the under, and 55% of cash on the over. Kent Davies on the Jazz plus 7.5 here. Jazz 3-7 over the past 10, third fastest pace in the NBA, 103.45 possessions a game, 47.1 from the field, 35.2 from three. Very similar shooting statistics from Memphis, 47.5 from the field, 34.6 from three. Much slower though. 19th fastest pace, 98.92 possessions a game, and they're playing good basketball, and we'll get into why. They're 7-3 over their past 10. We get to the injury report. John Morant is supposed to return here. Who knows what the hell that means? Pippen, Jerome, Zach Edey, and Brandon Clark all out, and Ja expected to return. Guys getting a lot of bad press. Jazz coming off their second straight loss, 131-101 at home to the Thunder on Sunday. This team has some hope here. Ace Bailey, looking more and more like an NBA player, and Walter Clayton Jr. coming off 20 and 9 boards here. The Grizzlies coming off their second straight win in 5th in 6 games, 119-96 at home over the Blazers on Sunday. So they win 7 of 9 without John Morant, and Edey hurt now, but that 2024 draft class for them looks incredible. Getting Jalen Williams and Cam Spencer. Now Cam Spencer is going to have to sit on the bench now because Ja's back, but what incredible picks here. Edey's going to be out for a while. It's a stress reaction in his left ankle. He's not going to be reevaluated again for 4 weeks. So, but let's go back to Jalen Wells and Cam Spencer and how good they've looked. Because they've just, Wells went 39th in that draft and Spencer went 53rd. You know how hard it is to find real NBA players at those spots? So over the last 9 games, Wells averaging 16.7 points, shooting 56.6 from the field. And his defense has been so good. Spencer, 14.3 points and 5.3 assists. And he's been coming off the bench too. He's released Vince Williams. So Williams moved into the starting point guard role when Morant suffered the calf injury 3 weeks ago. Morant was a full participant in practice yesterday. Now, we thought Jared Allen, after being a full participant in practice, would be healthy and be available too. So I don't know what it means with Ja coming back. And maybe I will after hearing you guys break this down. But we have Scottie Pippen Jr. and Ty Jerome hurt. And so Wells and Spencer had to step up, and they did. JJJ has not been playing well. Single-digit scoring in 2 of his last 3 games. Take it away for us, Justin McKelvey, Jazz, Grizzlies, FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, when I first looked at this game, I wasn't at all interested. But then I started digging into it, and I was mad I didn't make it stacks. And when I looked into it, the Jazz, the coach, what's his name, Will Hardy, he kind of got his flag. He went hard on his teammate. I'm trying to work on my youngest is beside me, so trying to work on my my language. She's 14.
Sure.
He he gave them a lot after the last game. Like the coach for Hardy, he gave the Jazz like a lot of vulgar language and the way I look at it, I hope Ja do come back, and I'm making it official now, whether he comes back or not. And on top of that, like I know the Grizzlies been covering a lot of spreads lately. Ja hasn't been there, and it's the same thing that we see when stars come back. And this Grizzlies team, it's only a matter of time before they get rid of Ja. So I'm gonna make it official. Not money line. Best number you can get me. Give me Jazz first half full game. Not double result, but separate bets. First half spread, full game spread.
Can you touch on your thoughts of Ja coming back? Is it help or hurt?
I'm thinking it's gonna hurt.
Because
I
they've been
think
playing such good ball?
no, I just think that there's just too many variants. One, I want to fade the star coming back, and two, I want to fade Ja. Like my first read was, and I missed the line of drop. I was gonna go under his 26 and a half points and assists. And that was the first look that I looked at. And was it points and assists or point? Yeah, points and assists. And that was the very first number that I looked at. I wanted to fade Ja coming back, go under his points and assists. And then I started digging and seeing with Will Hardy, how Hardy came down on his team. And I was like, damn, like, that's not a bad word. But nah, so my whole thing was I wanted to fade that. Like, I wanted to back Hardy. Like, you done jumped on your team and you got the Jazz first, like, nobody wants the Jazz, but and I know this I want to say the Grizzlies like the last 6 or 7, like they're like 4-6, like AETS the last 6 or 7. And my whole thing is Ja coming back, Jackson struggling. I think it's like the same thing with Orlando, but Orlando they done changed that theory because they just won. But I just feel like Paulo, like I think Orlando plays better without Paulo. I think Memphis plays better without Ja. I think my Hawks play better without Trey. Just some names, and I think it's the same scenario. I think Jazz win this game outright. I think they come out and throw the first punch. And I don't think Memphis is going to be able to recover after the first half. So first half full game, not money line, but spread for both.
We got you +4 at -109 for the first half, +4 -109, and +7.5 -109 full game. 4 and 7.5, both at -109. Wine Time Sports. You know, a lot of negativity about Ja in the chat here. I hated seeing him, come on the floor and point the finger. I just hated it. But we don't have one person here on the Grizzlies, and I can't tell you honestly what Ja is going to do off of a break. I find him very tricky to get a handle on. I know that there's a lot of negativity surrounding him. Take it away. Your thoughts here, Wine Time Jazz Grizzlies. Are you muted, my man?
It's funny. I was going to give a shout out to Dabby Cab, and I just pulled a Dabby Cab on him. So shout out to our guy, Dabby Cab, the host of the Tailgate every single Saturday. Love working with him on those Saturdays, man. We have a lot of fun. So guys, make sure to tune in tomorrow. Got 2 games in college football, but we also got a loaded college basketball card. And I don't know if you guys tuned in last week, but I went 9-2 in college basketball on the Tailgate, and we're looking to build on that this weekend. So it was the best day I ever had in college basketball. We hit 2 + 180. So looking forward to breaking down some of the games with the fellas tomorrow. As far as this game goes, guys, the only play I had written down last night when I originally capped this card was Jazz +7.5 -115. I have question marks next to it. And now I crossed out the question marks. I don't want the Utah Jazz. Seeing everyone kind of in the chat on the opposite side here or being on Jazz and not being on the Memphis Grizzlies has a little bit of my concern because, I haven't been a biggest Ja fan the last couple of years, but at the same time, maybe he's going to go out there and I don't know, maybe he's going to go out there and play some ball and show some heart in this game and beat a Utah Jazz team that hasn't been playing some good basketball. Yeah, I saw that clip of the head coach, Hardy, just drilling his guys on the sideline. I mean, he needs to. I mean, this team's not playing good, but they've got some good guys in this line. I mean, the starting 5 doesn't look horrible. I mean, with Marketing out there, you got Kenyon George, who's can definitely get you 20-25 on any given night. You got Ace Bailey out there, who I was a big fan of in college. I thought he could have even potentially have gone 1 or 2 overall. I think he ended up going 3. And then you got the other kid from Florida, Will Clayton, coming off the bench. I think they got some guys that can put the ball in the bucket. I'm going to stay off this game. Wanted the Utah Jazz, but I've just slowly crossed it out, and I've already told myself I don't want them here, knowing that Jaw's coming back. Maybe we fade the Grizzlies. If Jaw let's say if Jaw goes out there and drops a 25-30 piece, has some clutch shots in that fourth quarter, and they win this ball game and cover the spread, I will be fading them in their next spot. And in their next game, they will be facing the Los Angeles Clippers on the road on Monday night. So I will write that down, and we might be fading the Grizzlies on that Monday. So as of right now, nothing for me, guys. It's crazy. Going into this NBA card, I thought I was going to have a loaded card and not a loaded college basketball card, but here I am with 5 college basketball plays and 1 NBA play so far. I've got question marks next to pretty much every game we've talked about, though, that I'm going to go back over after the show. But as of right now, I'm off this game.
What are you going to do if the Jazz win this game?
Yeah, that would be then I'll just stay away from the Monday night game. I probably just won't even touch it.
I was going to write that down.
Yeah, waiting to see the market and seeing like where it is, I guess, on that Monday. But
so they don't play
on last night, but it makes sense. It's like Jaws coming back. It's like everyone's going to want to kind of fade that, I feel like. I mean, looking at the market right now, we've got 56% of tickets, 55% of cash on Utah. So it's not super public, but I know a lot of people are seeing that, you're getting 7.5 points with the Jazz team.
That's wild because everybody like to bet that it's kind of like the Hawks at home on a Friday night, which they're away, so it don't apply tonight. But usually everybody likes to bet the Grizzlies on a Friday night at home. So I couldn't believe. I thought I was, being ahead of everybody, being like, yeah, Jazz spot, everybody gonna want the Grizzlies. Damn.
Shout out to Kent Davies. Sorry, I'm probably adding Jazz money line. Gonna be drinking heavy. There you go. Shout out to our guy Kent Davies.
We have Justin moving on Jazz first half +4, full game +7.5, each at -109. I also feel very uncomfortable guessing and predicting what Ja is going to do right now. He's obviously.
Well, I could win this bet even if he goes crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Because their rhythm is all messed up. They finally got their rhythm together. They won 7 of their last 9. Yep. They have these kids stepping up.
And here comes Ja to mess it all up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not against. I think that it's just funny. I honestly feel a little nervous fading Ja coming back right now just because of all the negativity he's receiving. It's not like a normal spot where he comes back. Now he's getting a ton of negativity. Does he use that to fuel him? I'm very interested in your look on the Jazz.
He's been getting though, but he's getting a lot as of recently now, but ever since the gun issues, like he's been getting a lot of like negativity. And then he comes back and flips the crowd off, makes gun gestures in the crowd, like it's just always something with him going on Instagram. And so he used to this. In my opinion, there's no difference between the negative, what he's getting now compared to what he's been getting.
Yeah, I think the difference is that a lot of people, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he's been given up on now. Like there was always a little bit that his talent would rise up. They were leaving hope that his talent would rise up, that he'd get his act together. And now I think just everyone's just given up on him.
Like, would you make the bet that, like, could you say that can Ja ever score 40 points in another game ever again in his career?
Oh, what a waste of talent if he can't, man. He's so talented.
But you can't say yes automatically. You just said if he can't. And that's the question. Like, I don't think he can. I mean, maybe if he goes to a team of his choice and he's happy. I don't think he wants to be there. He's made it known. So I don't think he's giving it 100% effort. As long as he's in Memphis, I don't want nothing to do with it. Maybe, and it's disappointing because I was like you. I was a Ja backer. And then he just make us look bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. All right, let's roll on. Next spot on the board, we have Ron Crawford. He is on the Memphis Grizzlies -7, says on Grizz Island here. And next spot on the board is Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. It is on the Brooklyn Nets. If you're listening on headphones, turn it down because we have now Ron Crawford's a rock and roller, and we have death metal for him, but we'll work on that. Shout out to Ronnie Crawford. 8:30 p.m. Eastern with Brooklyn Nets 6-17, 4-7 on the road. Dallas Mavericks 9-16, 6-9 home. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Taking a look at this injury report here, we have it's pretty clean. Gafford doubtful, and then D'Angelo Russell is questionable. Highsmith and Cam Thomas out for Brooklyn, and Russell is sick, so he was expected to play. I mean, he's not been playing well and not been playing much. But he's now added to the injury report with a sickness. He wasn't going to start anyways. It's Nemhard and oh shit, sorry. This is all right, let me move this over here. They're making me watch a commercial. Dicks. So let's get into this here. Brooklyn 4-6. 28th fastest pace in the NBA, 96.95 possessions a game, playing slow. Dallas 5-5, 99.7 possessions a game, 16th fastest in the NBA. Dallas shooting the ball nice, 47.2 from the field, 38.5 from three. They're playing much better ball. Brooklyn also playing better ball, but it's not because of their offensive touch, 45.3 from the field and 35.4 from three. Line history wise here, and we have this Cleveland Washington total moving to 245. I have the opener coin at 239, so I would need to see a 246 before I move on the under, and I will. It didn't work last time. That's the first loss. I will move on it if it gets to 246. I'm going to keep an eye out for it. Here we have a 221.5 total. This total opened up at 224. All it's done is drop. It's dropped 3 points down to 221.5. From a point spread standpoint, we have Dallas now -8. They opened up at 7, got up to 8, dropped down to 7, back to 7.5. Been bouncing all over the place. Overall, there's been a 1-point move towards the Dallas Mavericks. Let's start with Brooklyn. Coming off their third win in 4 games, 119-101 at home over the Pelicanos on Saturday. And Claxton, second career triple-double, 14 points, 11 boards, 10 assists. Michael Porter Jr. dropped 35. That ties a season high for him. 5 threes, 9 boards. He's gone for 30 or more in each of his past 3 games. He's also shooting the ball nice over that stretch, 17 of 33 from 3. It's not that he's jacking up crazy amount of shots. That's 8 30-point games in 19 games this season for MPJ, averaging 25.8 points per game. 67 threes are 12th in the NBA. Mavericks coming off their 4th win in 5 games, 122-109 at home versus the Rockets on Saturday. And Cooper Flagg, man, there's a lot of talk about him. 18 years old, 17.3 points per game, 6.3 boards, 3.3 assists, 1.3 steals, getting in the dirty areas. Derek Lively gone for the season, right foot surgery, and Dunzo here. Wine Time Sports, Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks, take it away.
Yeah, give me the Dallas Mavericks laying 8 points here at home at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas against the Brooklyn Nets, -8 +100. Could have got a 7.5 out of -110, -115. I just wanted that 8 at even money here. I think Dallas is going to take care of business here. They've been playing a lot better basketball the last couple weeks, and I think that it's only going to continue. They're healthy right now. You got Anthony Davis. You got Cooper Flagg out there playing some good ball. You got PJ Washington playing some good defense and hitting those corner threes. I think they take care of business against a Brooklyn Nets team that I don't believe in by any means, and they've been playing some better basketball, winning their last 3 out of 5 games. Probably the best basketball they played all season long with their 6-17 record. But I think at home on a Friday night in Dallas, I think these guys are going to absolutely smash the Brooklyn Nets here. Looking at it from a market perspective, just going to go back over that really quick. 62% of bets, 84% of cash on the Brooklyn Nets. And a lot of the sharper books moved this from a 7, 7.5 to an 8. So 84% of cash is coming in on Brooklyn. It's moving towards the Dallas Mavericks. I'm on the Mavericks here, Jim. I really like this spot here. Give me the Mavericks -8 +100. I think Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis go out there and have a good game for this home crowd. And it's more so just kind of fading a Brooklyn Nets team that I don't believe in. Yeah, they've been playing better basketball, but I'm not going to be on this team here. I think that seeing the Mavericks -8 here in this spot is kind of telling. They haven't really been laying this number all season long. If anything, they've been getting 8 to 10 points in some of these big games. I mean, they were 9.5 dog against Clippers, 1 outright, 11.5 against Nuggets, 1 outright, 4.5 against Miami, 1 outright, 6.5 against Houston, 1 outright. And now we're seeing them open up here at -7, -7.5, depending on where you're looking. And now we're seeing 8s, probably see 8.5s here pop up before we know it. So give me the Dallas Mavericks -8 plus 100.
Dallas Mavericks -8 plus 100. Shout out to Kyle Fields in the house. What up, Kyle? Let's hear from Justin McKelvey. Nets Mavericks, game 6 of the 7-game slate. Take it away.
I'm glad Wonton, excuse me. I'm glad Wonton got something in this game. I don't have nothing. I wanted to get to the double result for the Mavericks. That was my first look, and that underlined. And then when I seen the price, and I kept thinking, I don't want to give that out. And then I don't want to count on the Mavericks to win a game. This Nets team's horrible. This Magic team or Mavericks team, I can't figure them out. I can't figure out Cooper Flag. I'm 1 for 3 on his props. I'm 1 for 3 betting the Mavericks team. I've never took the Nets ever this year, not one time. So I don't have nothing. So I'm glad Wonton got something. I really wanted to get to the double result or possibly Cooper Flag, but I didn't get nothing.
Yeah, I want to look at the proof of concept here for the Mavericks, because I'm starting to see the issues of my capping here. When every team gets 5 days off, I'm struggling seeing the advantages that aren't, situational based. The Mavericks have been sitting in this win over the Rockets here for 6 days. It was a huge win. So they beat Miami by double digits. So the last 2 home games they've won by double digits. The road, they were delivering on the road here. So it has transferred over to home, but they haven't played that much at home. I guess I see it. So what Wine Time, your thought process behind this is, it took them a little while to get rolling. The Flag to get confident, for AD to be playing every game. Not who cares that Lively's out, but now they have a set with Nembhard, Flag, Marshall, Washington, Davis that is getting consistency. So this is a team now, when a bad basketball team comes to Dallas, you expect the Mavericks to win by double digits now.
Yes, and just kind of like, I know their previous 5 games were against better teams, obviously teams that are a lot better than the Brooklyn Nets, but they're a much bigger dog. And the fact that they go from being dogs in 5 straight, let me just double check really quick, in 5 straight games, and now they're nearly a double-digit favorite against a bottom feeder in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, probably the worst team in the NBA. One of them at least. I mean, you look at the starting 5, it doesn't get much worse than this. Michael Porter is your best player. And yeah, he can go off, and when he gets hot, he gets hot. Don't get me wrong. But I think in the span of 4 quarters, the Mavericks are going to be able to pull away at some point at home. I think they're playing a lot better basketball. I think they've kind of hit a corner here, kind of hit a turn here. So I'm on the Mavericks. I think they beat these guys by double digits for sure.
I guess nobody needs 5 days off more than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I'm going to have to go over all this again, but I do not want to go into tonight's NBA action with nothing. Thank God for your guys' action here at this point. So I do have interest here. Let me just say, I have interest in the Mavericks winning this game comfortably with AD healthy. Let's talk about our final spot here on the board. Final spot of our show. We do have a merch race afterwards, right there. Merch race. We are racing horses here for our silver and gold members. We're very thankful for you guys. But let's roll here. Our final spot on the board. Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State Warriors. This is the big one. Steph Curry is expected to return. Let's see if that has. Yes, Steph Curry is back in business. Draymond Green out for personal reasons. Horford not coming back. Jackson Davis probable. So the starting 5 at this point with this lineup, you have to put Jimmy Butler on the 4. It's not really where he wants to play. Steph, Will Richard at the 2, Buddy Hield at the 3, Jimmy Butler at the 4, Quentin Post at the 5. We have Ant expected to play. Conley's out. Ant is expected to play right foot soreness. This wasn't, no one talked about this 3 days ago. This is kind of out of nowhere, but he's expected to play here. So DiVincenzo, Edwards, McDaniels, Randall, and Gobert. And we all want to see Ant and Steph Curry going heads up. And shout out to Kong's Clip, Smash Play of the Week, Play Today, Brito and Vallejos, Parlay. Thank you, Kong. So let's go into the line history and the cash flow and get Justin to hit lead off for us for our last game on the board. We have the Warriors right now -1.5, very lukewarm favorites. They opened up -2 and they were -4. Why has it dropped to 1.5? Steph's in, right? What is that? All just money? Money is moved.
So yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful, powerful move down to 1.5 from 4. This was a 4.5 at midnight. That's a huge, huge move towards Minnesota. If that's not player related, wow. Let's get into the total here for this one. This total is 231.5. We have the star player returning. This opened up at 227.5, dropped to 226 before it climbed up to 231.5. Wow. This is screaming Minnesota at this point. When we get to the cash flow, but Minnesota very public, but at least the books are reacting. 60% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on Minnesota. Very public. Over at Circa, they have 64% of tickets, 91% of cash on Minnesota. They've moved it from 3.5 to 2. And then total wise, 55% of tickets, 87% of cash, and it's dropped and dropped and dropped. Timberwolves had their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 108-105 loss at home to the Suns on Monday. It was an embarrassing loss and upset them. And Edwards has four 40-point games his last 9 games. Warriors coming off their second straight win, 123-91 at the Bulls on Sunday. And now Steph is back. Draymond out. Horford out. Kuminga was a healthy scratch in Chicago. That's what it's come to. He went 1 of 10 in Cleveland. Justin McKelvey, our last spot on the board. Timberwolves, Warriors. Talk to us.
Yeah, you best number you could give me. You give me the number of percentages and shook my confidence a little bit, but not enough to still give it out. I'm on the Timberwolves money line. Best number you could get me. And it's not even so much with Steph coming back, but with no Draymond, not that he's a factor, and no Horford. More important to me was that the Timberwolves just coming off this loss to the Suns. They was not covering, but they was winning games. And this is a team that we just watched. The only thing, I'm not big on the revenge factor no more because we just watched the Timberwolves send the Warriors home last year. So now Steph's coming back. My first thought was, you don't want to face Steph. He's coming back. Like, of course he's coming back for the Timberwolves who sent him home last year. But I don't know. They sent him home last year. This Timberwolves team, you don't want him as a favorite, but I'll take him as a dog. With Steph coming back, no Draymond, no Al Horford for a team that pretty much Timberwolves beat the Warriors pretty much every time they see them. So I'm not looking into the revenge. So whatever plus money you give me for the Timberwolves money line, you shook my confidence a little bit, but I'm trusting my cap. I like the Timberwolves to win this game.
I'm surprised that they're so public. I get you plus 109. I'm surprised that they're this public. Let's just
that's wild.
Yeah, you would think with Steph coming back, everybody would get so excited about that. Let's see if we're getting told a different story over at Action, because that would help a lot. If they're telling a completely different story, they are telling us that 60% of tickets, 77% of cash on the Wolves, but that is the spread. Let's see what the money line. This is the only reason why to keep this site is because of the money line. So there you go. The money line is just 38% of tickets, 33% cash on Minnesota. So there's your different side of the story. Wine time, take it away for us. Wolves, Warriors, last game on today's show.
It's going to be a pass for me, guys. I don't want anything to do with this game. I wanted to be on the Warriors just because of seeing that much money on the Timberwolves, but the market is adjusting to it. I think Circa is the only place hanging at 2 still. Everywhere else is a 1.5. So it's an interesting spot here. I think this is going to be a pretty good game to watch. I want nothing to do with it, though. You guys know me. If there's ever 90%, I know it's 89, but around this much money on a side, I don't move on it regardless in the NBA. Unless it is a pretty significant move, I guess you could say. So I understand it, but it's going to be a pass for me. I want nothing to do with this game, even though this is probably, if you're looking at it from a matchup standpoint, from a watching standpoint, this is probably the best game on the board to watch. Two good teams in the Western Conference going at it on a Friday night up in San Fran. So I'm off it, though. Nothing for me in this one. Short and sweet. I want to stay away from this one.
I love this. Ron Crawford sending the info here on it's a 50-50 spot on the money line and 50-50 on the spread, basically, from the site that Ron Crawford uses. This, I think, would you not agree, Justin, that if there was a game that you needed Draymond Green, it would be against Julius Randle and Randy Gobert?
Absolutely. That's what that was the first thing when I seen there was no, not even just Draymond, but there's also no Horford. So this guy, what's his name? Quentin
Post.
That's it. Like he not gonna hold Brando and Gobert down. And coming off a loss, this is where I want the Timberwolves. And the only thing that made me worry was like I wasn't so much concerned about Curry. I don't usually never get worried until I come on here and you start reading the money splits, and I'd be like, damn.
But we can explain it because
now we can explain
money line spot, not a spread spot.
And I was capping this game thinking everybody gonna be like, oh, Steph coming back and be on the Warriors, and then this low line for the Warriors. But I wasn't listening, or maybe I was writing something down. But I think I seen a 3.5 or a 4 for the Warriors when it opened.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah. There was a 4 for a while. I'm going to look at this one more time, 'cause I think this is telling. I mean, it sucks not being able to get the points because when you're fading Steph, you can hit these late daggers. But this opened up at 4.5 last night at 9:45 p.m. That makes it hard to take a 1.5.
It does.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if it went too low. And this game in the what is the game I was looking at? I mentioned earlier. I don't remember now. But this is the game the line moved on me. I was looking at Timberwolves. I didn't see the 4.5. I seen the 4. And I was like, damn, Timberwolves +4, Steph coming back, Anthony, questionable. No Green, no Horford. I'm like, Warriors got a little revenge. Like they sent them home last year, but I gotta stop. I keep it in mind, the revenge factor, but I don't I used to be all about not fading revenge, like especially this type of revenge. Like y'all just sent us home, but Steph's first game back. I know Steph's gonna be Steph, but I don't know. I wanted to get under his points total, whatever it was. I didn't get there because betting on Steph under is stressful. So, but I just love the Timberwolves in the spot. So that's what I'm on.
Yeah, I'm going to join you. The only fear I have is could Kuminga now, after being a healthy scratch, step up? Because he's going to have to play. They have no bodies. They have no big bodies. Has Kuminga lost all of his confidence? He's just going to be a mess out there. That Kuminga is the X factor in this basketball game because you have it's Quentin Post. Jimmy Butler's going to have to play 40 minutes at the 4 because Kuminga. Is Santos going to come in? Are you going to move Moses Moody? I think that this is going to really hurt them tonight. Really, really hurt them. So I agree. I think this line is telling. I'm going to join you on the Timberwolves. Wine time. Timberwolves Warriors. Last game on the board.
Yeah, no, I couldn't end up moving on this. I mean, I guess the market is telling. It's too difficult because I can't move on a spot that has 90% of cash on it.
But even if we can say that's just the spread, not the money line, like at this point, who's betting the spread?
Yeah, that is true. And I didn't even realize here you could actually look up the money line splits on here too. What is it? It's 90% of tickets, 61% of cash on Golden State on the money line at circa right now. So It's going to be a pass for me, Jim. I don't want anything to do with this, even though this is probably the best game on the board. I'm gonna pass on this one.
I'll take a nap and get up and watch this game. Like I really,
It's gonna be a good game to watch. Maybe bet live or like a second half bet after watching the first half. This game, 7:10 p.m. over here, so we got another 7 hours for this one. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna see what this market does and go from there.
90% of the tickets at Circa have come in on the Warriors. 90%, 9 out of every 10, and they've moved it from the Warriors from -165 down to -130.
Yeah, that's
here, y'all take this Warriors money line price.
Exactly. No, finally, I've got something that's opened up for me. Okay, let's do a review of all action here in NBA with our guys, Wine Time Sports and Justin McKelvey. Shout out to our guy, Chill Will, $20 dono to bless our action. Chill Will, can't wait to break bread with you and the fam
Jimmy.
one more time. All right.
Hold on, Wanta. You got to wait for Jimmy.
I'm waiting.
That's a big shot he poured.
A nice, generous pour right there.
Yeah, that's a big. I feel like we got to do like 3 to his one.
Shout out to Chill Will, man. Love capping with you. Says he had a very good week, and he's blessing our action. Love to hear it, my man. Let's review all action. Justin McKelvey gets his card started with Bridges, 15+ rebounds and assists at +215. One time on the Hornets at +120. I still have some interest in the Pistons.
Me too.
But Stacks play today is the Hawks +7.5, and I don't want to be up against it. He's also on the over 232.5 at +101. Then Justin McKelvey on the Pacers +7.5 at -110. We have Cleveland, Washington, the spot we've stayed off of. Justin on the Jazz first half +4 and the full game +7.5. We have Wine Time on the Mavericks -8 at +100. I'm interested in that one as well. And then we have the Timberwolves +109 for Justin McKelvey. That is our NBA for Friday, December 12th here. Thank you guys for rocking with us. It means a ton. Justin, my man, I'm going to pop your X handle here in the chat. Thank you for all that you do for us, man. Thank you. Truly means a ton. And love this. Also starring on Tuesdays with Peter Loshak. Justin, thank you, man. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, thanks for having me. Let's have a day. One time.
Let's go, Stacks.
Let's get it. I love it, man. I love working with Justin. Love seeing you guys work together. I'm pop Justin's X handle here in the chat. Hit that link. Support our guy, Justin McKelvey, Pennsylvania in the house. Chill Will, thank you. Good luck to you, my friend. Wine Time Sports. Thank you for all that you do, man. Crush it tomorrow as well. I'm going to go over your college basketball and all of your action, but love capping with you. Not too long from now, we will be in San Antonio, Texas. And here is Wine Time's X handle. Please hit this link. Support our guy, Wine Time Sports. Wine Time, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
Oh, shout out to you, Jimmy. I love doing this with you every Wednesday and Friday. These Friday shows with me, you, and Stacks on these NBA games have been very profitable. So just look forward to keeping that up, not pressing too much today. We got 2 plays, as you already mentioned. Got a couple question marks next to the Pistons, 76ers, and Wizards. So we're going to look at those as the day goes on. So make sure you're following me on X, Wine Time Sports, tweeting out all my action per usual. Got a loaded card tomorrow, guys. I'm really excited for the college basketball card. Really excited for the tailgate. 7 a.m. Over here Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning, right here on Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to Chill Will Palooza. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're looking forward to that. I'm excited. So appreciate you guys as always. Good luck on everyone's action, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Love you guys. I'm out.
There is Wine Time Sports in the house. Yes, I'll review all action, but first, let's thank you to all our silver and gold members. The winner of this horse race gets a merch package from Pub Sports Radio. Jose, my friend, let's race. We are off and racing here. Donut Silks is fired off. Look at the early pace from Donut Silks. Stand on Biz right there. Black Door King. We got Wine WT. It's got to be right. That's got to be Wine Time. Oh no, it's WT from Costa Rica. We have WT down on the early lead as well. We are a third through the race. We are 3 furlongs in. Little Domo, Man, Bear, Pig, F. Donahue. And here comes Fernando Mendoza making a power move. He's not alone. Nasty Nate moving forwardly. When's Nasty Nate going to buckle? Not right now. He's moving forwardly. Nasty Nate trying to get a win. Oh, there he goes. No, Nate. Nate, no. No. Nate is falling off, but F. Donahue staying strong. And we have Bruh Button up front too. We're getting down to the MMA man. How did Mr. Sean Higgs? Sean Higgs trying to get to the wire. King Ooh, Dabby Cab firing home, and he is our champion. Dabra Kadabra, the Magic Man, delivering the goods as always. Congratulations to Dabby Cab. Pick up that merch package in San Antonio, man. Dabra Kadabra winning our horse race. That's a sign of what's to come, man. Dabby Cab gonna have a big weekend. Shout out to our guy, Dabby Cab. Let's put a bow on the proceedings here and go over all action. We're coming off back-to-back massive days. Very important. Very, very important. We have a Dubai Monaco moneyline parlay for the Gorkle. Dubai's already taken care of business. Not sure if Monaco did as well. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today, East Tennessee State. And he has the same parlay. The Pink Milk play today, Saturday parlay, it's the same as Billy Friedrich is same as Kong's Clips. So we have the corner of Friedrich and Kong's Clips Boulevard. We have Billy Friedrich on Bleda Vallejos. And we also have Kong on Bleda Vallejos. Shout out to Kong. Then we have stacks number 1, Hawks plus 7.5. Number 2, UConn, Texas over 145.5. Then we have Rich in Van City. His play today, Ilya Mikheyev, anytime goal at plus 450. Goals in last 3 head-to-head games versus the Blues. And he says great value in his opinion. Johnny Blaze, flank stake play today, Pacers. Also on Texas, Cal Baptist and Xavier team total over. The Bookie Buster play. Oh, that was yesterday's Bookie Buster play. So I'm going to move on the Blues first period. And I'm very interested in the under 6. I'm certainly going to move on the Blues first period. Do I move on the under 6 as well? I got to figure that out. I'm going to be on the Mammoth on the -1 line. Maybe I should just keep it clean. But I'm interested in the under 6. I probably bet both. Now, I need to ensure, though, that the Blues first period isn't ridiculously expensive because I can't take a minus a half. So the Blues are now down to a -115. We've had this huge move towards the Blackhawks, which is all well and good. And the first period, don't be too expensive. Now, I can find it a cheaper book. -125. I can find it cheaper. That's fine. I can move on that. Then we have NCAA football. We have Wine Time moving on the first half under 19 and Army team total first half under 8. And shout out to Eliza Zertucci. He is in the Navy protecting us, and we love him very much. He told us to bet Navy. We also had Gabriel Cardenas. He is currently serving in the United States Army, and he's a recruiter up in New York, and he still said take Navy. Still said bet Navy. I want Army, and I want to work a little bit longer here. Yes, Nasty Nate, you missed the race, and you were flying for the first half of the race. You were flying for the first half. You were in. We thought that this was the day, Nate, but then something terrible happened to your horse, and I'm pretty broken up about it. So, but your horse has early pace. What we need to find is a very short race. Shout out to Chill Will, Army retired, respect. DC Capper, you're damn right. All about Franklin's, man. So I want the under in Army Navy, and I'm interested in Army. Then in college basketball, Wine Time on UMBC first half -4. He's on Carolina State first half +9. I want Missouri State first half, and I also like that South Carolina State first half. I just want to sit with it for a little longer. Wine time on the first half under 60.5 in Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina A&T. DC Capper gave us the South Carolina State over 158, Austin P under 143.5. AM gave us Missouri State Xavier over 145.5, and East Texas A&M McNeese over 140.5. Shout out, man. Respect to our guy AM. Then we have a possible bet on UConn first half. I have to sit with this heavy line move towards Texas for a little bit longer. Then Pig Milk play today, East Tennessee State. We talked about that earlier. Wine time's moving on Austin P first half plus 1.5. And I do not want to go up against Pig Milk. Sweet, sweet Pig Milk. But I really like Austin P in this spot. 4-5 against an 8-2 team line, moving towards the 4-5 team. They've only played 2 games at home, so the statistical profile is all based on their road games. I like that a lot. The respect play today is McNeese. McNeese first half minus 11.5, minus 105. Wine time moving on Eastern Washington, and our guy Matty Ice was imploring us to bet Eastern Washington at plus 140. I wish they weren't coming off such an easy win, but he's probably right. A 2-7 team line moving towards 2-7. I mean, I'm using the same thing here with Austin P. Shout out to our guy, Matty Ice. Paint! Oh. 40 Kid, thank you, man. You've had my back throughout this very horrible start to the year, and having that monster night last night meant a lot to me. Robert Franklin, Bala on a budget, Navy Army under 7.5 first quarter. So thank you, 40 Kid. It means a ton. Speaking of tomorrow's NHL action, AM was good enough to give us all his action for tomorrow. It's right there. I'm going to be hammering tomorrow's Saturday card. I'm really excited about it. And then in basketball, you just heard the action. So we're locked and loaded. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us, man. Truly, truly thank you. On behalf of all of us, Pub Sports Radio, have a monster weekend. And thank you for the support. We have a big weekend ahead of us. We have the big tailgate hosted by Dabby Cab tomorrow. That's college basketball slate. Maybe they'll talk a little Army, Navy football. And then we have UFC Apex, last UFC of the year, hosted by the Locker Room Talk podcast stars. Then we have NFL Pub Hub Sunday morning. Oh, it's fun, man. I got so much action here, but it's starting the week behind the 8 ball 0-2. I've been able to climb out of all of these spots so far this year, so I need to do it again in NFL. I'm trying to do that in NHL. On behalf of all of us here, AM says, join the Discord, guys. We post all our action here. Solid community. Thank you, AM. Thank you to all of you guys. Tommy Buns, Bala on a budget, 40 Kid, DC Capper, Chill Will. Thank you for the dono, man. It means a ton to us. Nasty Nate, Kent Davies, Coin, Aubrey, Travis, Rez Mob, Shambria, Franklin. Thank you, guys. Dizzy Donut. Thank you. Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Fernando Mendoza, Lees, all of Zoe Cole, the Godfather, the Sports Investor, Ronnie Crawford. Thank you guys so much. Love and respect. Let's go out now and get this money. We've done it all week long. We have to strike while the iron's hot. When you're seeing things clearly, you have to attack. And that's what I'll be doing. Go get that cash, and thank you for your support. Have a wonderful weekend. About for all of us, Pub Sports Radio. Milk the motherfucking bookies, man. Leche! Hey, los bookmakers. Milk that shit. Milk it.
From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H. I stat green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate. From